listening to the Rebel Rebel podcast with Rory Carson. Tá sé bhgéisteach leis an fód cruúlaí Rebel Rebel le Rory McCarson.
Flew out of Belfast with an ambitious plan to continue the struggle to free Ireland. Mairead, Farrell, Sean Savage and Daniel McClean, but they died on the streets of Gibraltar. Hidden eyes had been watching, they followed his one. They knew they weren't armed, that none had a gun. We'll give them a warning, or no chance to run. For all three must die on Gibraltar, and south in Belfast now. All Ireland shares their sorrow as they walk in the sun, hitting Brits through their guns, and their blood stained the streets of Gibraltar. The SS stood there, so proud of their name. 3 more fleeing fighters lay dead in the streets, like the flock of martyrs and ambushed in weeds. But our three far away in Gibraltar, and sad our three homes in Belfast now. All Ireland shares their sorrow as they walk in the sun, hitting Brits through their guns, and their blood stained the streets of Gibraltar. Mairead, while in prison, we watched you and cried. True to all we believed in, and for the ship died, with 2 fine volunteers, Dan and Sean at your side. A part of us died in Gibraltar, and sad are the homes in Belfast now. All Ireland shares their sorrow as they walked in the sun, hitting Brits through their guns, and their blood stained the streets of Gibraltar. It happens each time that a volunteer dies. They screen off the truth with a cover of lies, but we know what happens, or it's tonight. They plan three deaths on Gibraltar, and sad fields in Belfast now. All Ireland has shared their sorrow as they walked in the sun, giving Brits through their guns, and their blood stained the streets of Gibraltar, and their blood stained the streets of Gibraltar.
Well, folks, how you doing? Good afternoon. This is another Rebel Sunday here for you. It's myself, Ro, on the Rebel podcast, multi-streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. Hopefully throughout the day without any hiccups. Fingers crossed, so far so good. So we'll jump in here. Loads of people tuning in already. Folks, if you are on Facebook, please share the stream for me. Just hit the wee share button. We'll get as many people tuned in as possible. And I know the Salt Lake match is on. It's the second half's just starting again, so there will be a few people watching the match. But again, I had a few people texting me going, why don't wait till after the match to start the thing? But listen, folks, the time of the podcast is 1 to 4, and that's it. Sort of, if you want to sort of watch the match, you can maybe watch the rest of the stream later on or something, but it's just 1 to 4 is the set time, and that's what we're going for. So we'll jump on the Facebook first, see who I have on. Let's see. Maura Burns, how you doing? Maura, John Dan Friel in Canada. Ginger McKenna watching. Damien Boyle. Ginger says, yeah, hi, what a fantastic song to start off with. Yes, folks. Yesterday, 33 years ago, on the 6th of March, the Gibraltar 3, Mairead, Farrell, Sean Savage, Danny McClean were brutally murdered in broad daylight, unarmed, in the street in Gibraltar by the SAS. So yeah, 33 years ago yesterday, folks. It just gets harder every year, thinking of that anniversary, so it does. So if you were listening to the show on was it Thursday night? Yes. So folks, again, we had Farrell McCann on, legendary figure here in West Belfast, legendary Republican activist, Sinn Féin councillor, Sinn Féin MLA, ex-prisoner, ex-attempted escapee from the cages of Long Kish. You heard all that story the other night. If any of you haven't listened to it yet, you can go back to my Facebook page, or it's still on YouTube, and have a listen, folks. It's a great interview, I have to say, and sat here over 2 hours, and really in-depth interview, fantastic. So, sort of bringing in what was said, the first song there I played, The Streets of Gibraltar. So, have another guest on tomorrow night. As I said a few weeks ago, folks, I sort of got two really legendary Republicans in West Belfast to agree to do interviews over the next few weeks. So tomorrow night, folks, here in the studio, I have a man called Joe Austin. If any of you aren't aware of who Joe Austin is, if you live in West Belfast, you'll know Joe is a massive figure in the Republican movement. He's very high up in the National Grave Association. What he'll probably be best known for, and the story he'll be telling tomorrow night, more or less, is going to be whenever the three volunteers were murdered in Gibraltar. Basically, the movement had to send somebody over to repatriate the bodies and bring them home. So it was left, sort of the families and the movement voted for Joe Austin to go over. So Joe went over with Niall Farrell, Mairead's brother, and basically it's a mad story of basically having been over there and were able to get the bodies back home. It was a long old process, and obviously you all know what happened after the funerals, and then after the funerals of their funerals. So yeah, Joe's going to be telling that whole story tomorrow night. Folks will tune in from 8 o'clock live here on YouTube, and of course live on the Facebook page as well. So it's Joe Austin doesn't do a lot of interviews, so I'm actually very privileged to get him on here tomorrow night, especially on the anniversary of the Gibraltar 3. So who else we'll have in? Damien Boyle on Fergal is on, or listening in Lifford. Good to see you on Fergal. Colin Rayleigh, Joseph P. McIver listening in from Philadelphia. Happy days. Joe Buckley. Caroline Gold's on. Chris Donovan listening from Hampshire in England. Good afternoon. Scott Temperley as well. Paul Ciaran is on, listening up in Kilmallock, County Limerick. Good to see you on, Paul. Good man. Paul Maloney from Manchester. Barry Crew Magateer listening in up there, the Culcheville in Ballycastle. Good to see you on. Sean McClements, Christina Elliott. Good afternoon, listening in from Cumberland. Happy days. Maura Burns, who's over in Coatbridge in Scotland. Right, so we'll jump into here on YouTube and see what we'll have on today. Right, so Sean Millie's on. How you doing, Sean? Was looking on the streets of Gibraltar, yes, so started the show off with that there one. Folks, just let me know, can you understand me okay? Because I was talking to a few people during the week, especially people from the south, who I find hard to understand as well sometimes, but they're sort of saying, oh, your voice is a bit quick there, so it is the odd time. It's very hard to understand what you're saying, so I'll maybe try and slow down. I know there's a lot of people from Scotland and America as well listening, so if I feel I'm getting the run of myself and just going off in one, let me know. And we'll try and slow the tone down a bit, or the speech. Right, so Hugh O'Neill is on. Happy days. Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well on this beautiful day. Here to listen to the best Rebel podcast in the world. Oh, and Hyro. I think it's probably the only Rebel podcast in the world, is it? If I'm not mistaken. And I listen to a lot of podcasts. So David Tempest Mitchell is watching. Good afternoon, David Tempest Mitchell. Son of our 1916, I hope you're well, Cara. Looking forward to this one again, to keep up the interviews. Thoroughly enjoyed Fran McCann during the week. Happy days, mate. Let's see who else we'll have here on YouTube this afternoon. So yeah, folks, as you know, today I have back with the guests this week. So this week's guest is Kieran Warfield, frontman from Dublin band Catalpa, and obviously you'll recognise that their name, Warfield. He is the son of the legendary Brian Warfield of the Wolf Tones. He's definitely got his knack for writing songs, and as a musician as well. So yeah, we're going to be playing a few of Kieran's songs, and we'll have a good yarn with him from about 2 o'clock onwards, folks. For stay tuned for that there. So let's see, Craigie's on. T-shirt looks well. Happy days, good man, mate. Yes, hope you got yours. I got the smallest size possible. It fits you. Celine's on. How you doing? Martin Keane says, well, what the crack? Any chance of Bo Lochran doing Beeswing? Yes, if that's on his album, I'll get a wee look for you, Martin. Not a problem. And folks, just so you know as well, you would have heard me bothering on over the last few weeks about this album here. If you can see it, I'm holding it up. And actually, hopefully the lighting's a bit better. You can see me. I've invested a wee bit of equipment. Got 2 new mics here, and of course like a lighting ring that sort of lights the room up, because a few people had said the other night during Farrell's interview he's a bit hard to see. So hopefully we'll have Joe in tomorrow night. It'll fix that problem. So yeah, here's the album, folks. It's finished. It's ready to go. Rebs for Hope, the album. So it's going to be going on sale at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, folks, from my merchandise website. That's the only place you can buy it from. So I'll be posting up details of how to buy the CD. But there's lots of CDs, and I have a limited amount of USB sticks as well. So 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, folks, that the CD is going to be ready on sale from. Basically, the price is £11 per CD plus postage and packaging, and all proceeds are going to be going towards the 2 mental health awareness charities here that I support in Belfast, the Suicide Awareness Support Group in West Belfast and PIPS over in North Belfast, folks, for 2 very, very worthwhile charities. Right, so I think it's time to play another bit of music, because that's what we're here for. Right, so what we're going to do next. Right, this is a bit of an exclusive, this one we're going to today. So it is, obviously you'll have heard of Fianna, rebel band over in Scotland, and literally from Gary Campbell joined the band. They have never had any actual music recorded with Gary singing, so they've been working hard this last week or so. Chris Cruikshank's been down in Gary's sort of home studio, and they've been belting out their new album. I've seen the track list for it, absolutely fantastic. Can't wait to see it. So Tam has sent me across the very first song. It's finished on the album, and of course it's the Phil Coulter song, Town I Love So Well. So that, folks, nobody else has heard this song. It's the very, very first airplay of this song. So it is. It's also going to be released on the new the Derry Monuments album, which is going to be released very soon. But they say this is the very first time this song has been played anywhere. So here we go. This is Fianna from Scotland, exclusive here for you with their brand new track, the first song that's recorded with Gary on vocals, and this is The Town I Love So Well.
In my memory, I'll always see the town that I love so well, where our schools played ball all around the gasyard wall, and we laughed through the smoke and the smell. Going home in the rain, running up the dark lane, past the jail and down behind fountain. Those are happy days in so many ways, in a town that I love so well. In the early morning, the old shirt factory horn called the women from the Cregan, from the moors and the ball, while the men on the door played a mother's role, fed the children and then trained the dogs. And when times got tough, there was just about enough. We saw it through without complaining, for deep inside lies a burning pride, the town that I love so well. There was music there in the free dairy air, like a language that we could all understand. I remember the day when I earned my first pay, as I played in that old pickup band. There I spent my youth, and to tell you the truth, I was sad to leave it all behind me. For I learned about life, and I found myself a wife in the town that I love so well. Town that I love so well. And the music's gone, but we still carry on, with a spirit's been bruised, never broken, and we will not forget, and our hearts are set on tomorrow and peace once again. For what's done is done, and what's won is won. What's lost is lost and gone forever. I can only pray for a bright, bright, brand new day in a town that I love so well.
you go there, folks. The brand new track, the first official track from their new album, that's Fianna from Scotland. Of course, the first tracks with Gary Campbell singing, folks. Fantastic there. So that's a wee exclusive for you. So thanks to Tom Payton for sending me that over there. Fantastic. And he said he's just literally tuned in as soon as the song come on. Why are you not tuned in from the start, Tom? That isn't good enough, son. So it isn't. Right, so we'll jump back into YouTube, see what we have on, folks. And I know the numbers are slightly down, probably on Facebook because of the matches on. But I say, we're here at 4 o'clock, so if you want to tune in once the match is finished, you're more than welcome. Right, let's see. I think basically Marty and Hugh are trying to give each other Irish lessons, or so they are. Let's see, Mar McNally's on. How you doing? Up went Nelson, 8th of March, 1966. Marty Keane says, Roll, take two CDs. I live around the corner from you, can collect them. Yes, mate, listen, Marty, I'll do it. I'll get them dropped down. You okay, so well? Not a problem. I'll sort that out once I say. And the CDs are here, technically, but they're not here yet, but I have them. So don't worry, I'll get you sorted out during the week. Hugh Nealer says, I've got a black and gold Celtic emblem patch. I think I will put it on the hoodie and opposite side from the Rebel podcast emblem. I hope you won't mind. Here, not a problem, Hugh. So I'm just happy days. Your stuff came during the week and fits and all the merchandise. Good to hear it. Right, so back into Facebook. So Kevin Lothar says, any chance of Johnson's motor car, please, Ro? I'll see what I can do. Tom says, Aaron's left me holding the baby. Well, it is your child, Tom, so it's hardly holding the baby. And Mother Kate says, don't forget, tomorrow is International Women's Day. Yes, we'll have to get a song on that there. So Stacey Crosgrove says, hi, Ro, can you please play Hills Donegal for Zoe from her birthday, please? Happy birthday, girl, Zoe. Caroline Gold says, could you please play Ballad of James Connolly? Alan Fitzpatrick is listening in Cope Bridge. Chris Donovan says, yes, I would love to hear a version of Beeswing if you have one. And Ciara Griffin says, can you play Cruncher Che Guevara? Ciara, I've been trying to get a version of Cruncher Che Guevara for donkeys now, but I have not seen one that's physically recorded. There's loads on YouTube, but they're really shit versions. They're like live versions, so they are. So I can't really. If I play them on the show, it just sounds terrible. So if I can get a good recorded version of Cruncher playing Che Guevara's on the road again, I will certainly play it. Not a problem. Right, on YouTube, John Boy McElhenney says, watching the game and listening to you, Ro, who says men can't multitask? Definitely, mate. Right, so for somebody that was asking for, Marty Keane says he's looking Bo Loughlin. Could I play Bo Loughlin? Beeswing, yep, this is from Bo's brand new album. The Scullery Sessions. So yeah, well, there's one for you, Marty, an avid listener every week. Son of Aaron says, hi, Ro, ask for Beeswing for Kiva, who's 4, not a problem. And also, was it Chris, who was Crossgrove, was looking for this here, one for Beeswing as well. Well, yeah, Chris Donovan, right, so a whole lot of you is looking for Beeswing. So here we go, this is from Bo Loughlin's brand new album, The Scullery Sessions, and this is Beeswing on Rebel Sundays, folks.
I was 18 when I came to town. They called it the summer of love. They were burning babies, burning flags, the hawks against the dolls. I took a job to steaming down Caldron Street. Fell in love with the laundry girl, was working next to me. Brown hair zigzagged around her face and a look of half surprise. Like a fox caught in the headlights, there was animal in her eyes. She says, oh man, oh can't you see I'm not the factory kind. If you don't take me out of here, I'll surely lose my mind. She was a rare thing, fine as a bee's wing, so fine her breath the wind might blow her away. She was a lost child, she was running wild. She says, as long as there's no price in love, I'll stay. You wouldn't want me any other way. We bust around in Market Town and pick fruit down in Kent. We could take our lamps and pots and knives or every band. I said that we might settle down and get a few years dug, with a fire burning in the hearth, babies on the rug. She says, oh man, you foolish man, that surely sounds like hell. You might be lord of half the world, but you'll not own me as well. She was a rare thing, fine as a beeswing, so fine a breath of wind might blow her away. She was a lost child, she was running wild. She says as long as there's no price in love I'll stay. You wouldn't want me any other way. Master, here she's sleeping out back in the Derby beat. White horse in her hip pocket, no wolfhound at her feet. They said she even married once to a man named Romany Brown. Even the gypsy caravan was too much saddling down. They say her flowers faded now, hard weather and hard goods. Maybe that's the price to pay for the change that you'll refuse. She was a rare thing, fine as a beeswing, and I miss her more than ever words could say. If I could just taste all of her wildness now, if I could hold her in my arms today, I wouldn't want her any other way. She was a rare thing, fine as a beeswing, so fine her breath of wind might blow her away. She was a lost child, she was running wild. She says as long as there's no price in love I'll stay. You wouldn't want me any other way. You wouldn't want me any other way.
Oh, there you go. That's Beeswing there for you. Loads and loads of requests for that song today, folks. So we're happy to oblige. And that's a bit different, that one. Definitely not like your normal sort of traddy, sort of rebel-y way. It's a lot of different electric instruments. That one there from Bo Loughlin was here. Fantastic. So that's from Bo's brand new album, The Scullery Sessions. And he's been flying them out this week, folks. So if you want to get your hands on a copy, just search for Bo Loughlin on Facebook and you can get a hold of his album there. So there's Beeswing for everybody that asked for it. Right here, also have here on Facebook. So Dara Carlin says, farewell to Black if you can. Chris Dallin, yeah, says, bottle of white horse in her hip pocket, wolfhound at her feet. Profound lyrics, definitely. It's a second now, what Stephen just sent me here. Right, there we go. Stephen, or what was actually his song on next? Stephen, you're a mind reader, so you are. Just has us tuned in, sitting eating the breakfast, watching the Rebel podcast on TV. So, folks, as you know, last week, Stephen, our own Stephen here, from West Belfast, Rebel singer, he's probably put out his first track. That's what we put in his currently album he's working on, and played it last week, which was meant to be my big exclusive. Nobody else heard it yet, and whatever happened, the track sort of froze halfway through. I don't know if Stephen, whatever the track he sent me, it wasn't fully sent or something, but it stopped halfway through. So I apologise, and we'll got the end of it. But yeah, it's had some massive views on Facebook, this song, so it has. So we'll go to that one next, folks. So this is as we are on the sort of next months or so of the Hunger Strikes. Actually last Monday there started the 40th anniversary of Bobby Sands' first day of his fast. So this is Stephen's brand new song, a Hitch Black song, of course, recorded by the legendary Francie Brawley. Played the original version there on Monday or Thursday night at Fra's interview, so did, and that was got a lot of great feedback. But I have to say, the work Stephen's put into this song is fantastic. Some really great different sounds and instruments, and just Stephen's voice as always is I can listen to it all day. So this is Stephen, folks, from West Belfast. Here we go. This is the Hitch Black song on Rebel Sundays.
Man in Ulster's hills, my life began a happy boy, through green fields ran, I kept God's and man's laws. But when my age was barely 10, my country's wrongs were told again by the tens of thousand marching men. My heart stirred to the cause. I wear no convict's uniform, nor meekly serve my time. That Britain might brand Ireland's fight, 800 years of crime. I learned of centuries of strife, of cruel laws, injustice rife, but I saw now in my own young life the fruits of foreign sway. Protesters threatened, tortured, maimed, divisions nurtured, passions flamed, outrage provoked, pride's caused to fame. This is the conqueror's way. I'll wear no convict's uniform, nor meekly serve my time. That Britain might brand Ireland's fight, 800 years of crime. Descendants of proud Connacht's clan, cannon serves cruel Britain's hand. Man's inhumanity, the man has spurned this trusty slave. No strangers are these boats and locks, no new design. These dark Hitch Blacks, cruel Cromwell lives, while Thatcher talks, the bullies taunt to brave. I'll wear no convict's uniform, nor meekly serve my time. That Britain might brand Ireland's fight, 800 years of crime.
Stan, Bobby, and Peter's Club are now political prisoners, 492.
Does Britain need 1,000 years of protest riots, death and tears, or will the last decade of fears be an 80 decades swell? An end to Ireland's agony, new hope for human dignity, or will last obscenity be this dark Hitch Black cell? I'll wear no convict's uniform, nor meekly serve my time. That Britain might brand Ireland's fight, 800 years of crime.
There we go. Fantastic, folks. That's a brilliant Stephen there for you with Hitch Black song. So we did try to play it last week and for some reason it just cut out, but there you go, the full version. Absolutely fantastic, mate. Well done. And just a wee story there, sure, folks. I was listening to Stephen's set from is it Mondays he does? So I was actually driving the Derry on True Bill, 100%. I was driving the Derry on Tuesday, as normally up there a couple of times a week, and I was literally heading to where the place I delivered to, it's up just outside Derry, and I was driving past the Grantia Hospital and the Grantia roundabout, and literally just as I was approaching the roundabout, the hospital, Wally and Danny come on Stephen's set, and I was like, what? And literally I actually recorded it as I was coming round. I was just like, I couldn't believe it, so I couldn't. So Wally and Danny, of course, Grantia Hospital is the site where Wally and Danny were killed by the SAS in Derry. And obviously you all know that's my favourite song, and the shivers just boom, shut up me, folks, amazing. And yeah, folks, so I think Stephen's on the night as well at 9 o'clock, so get yourself onto it. Lots of Rebel Sundays happening this evening. I think Damien Quinn will be on as well, so he will for his usual, and probably Marty Higgins as well for his usual set. So make sure you all tune in, folks, and share the streams and support all the artists, and of course drop them all a wee tip if you can. I actually thought Stephen was sitting eating his breakfast watching me. No, he's actually eating the dinner at 1 o'clock on a Sunday. Jesus, we don't normally get ours to about 6 o'clock at night, so we don't. But right, so who else will have here? Let's see, go jump on. I just seen a request here for Aaron Fagan, we mate. So Aaron, I'll get yours on some stage this afternoon. I'll have to try and find it there for you. So so on Facebook, yeah, Jerry's Wood stuff. Listening, happy days. Chris Donovan there. Louise Cara is watching, and who else here do I have on YouTube? Let's see. I've still a bit of arguing going on. Hugh O'Neill says excellent version, totally different from the bands who tried to sound like Francie Bradley. I like this one a lot, but now I like it even more. There you go, brilliant. Celine said awesome. Eamon Malley says keep me a CD please. Yes, Eamon, I'll get you one. Drop down, mate, don't worry. Right, so what we'll do next? Right, we'll go play another song, folks. It's from my upcoming CD, the album, the Rebels for Hope, the Charlie album. So this one is from good friends of the show, Styx and Farrell up around Strabane and Lifford up there. And this, of course, they're Planksty folk. This is from their CD, live at Rosie Joe's in Derry, so it is. And this is one of the Jerry Glacken songs, Ambush at Clonot. Fantastic. I love the way the bouzouki is in this song. I just love the way Styx plays it. It really complements the guitar with Farrell, definitely. So this is the Ambush at Clonot with Planksty folk, folks, live at Rosie Joe's here on Rebel Sundays with myself, Ro.
Okay, Carja, Vulture Ove, G, Rosie Joe's and Ciaran. I'm going to kick the evening off with the Irish Brigade song, one wrote by the famous Jerry Glacken, one called Ambush at Clonot. Here's a song for young lives lost before their time, for daring lads cut down in their prime, in a land that longs for freedom and for peace. It's a prayer that all the heartache soon would cease. Sometimes it's hard to find the words to say, when the cut's so deep the pain won't go away. How much longer must we struggle, mourn and pray, till we see the light of freedom's dawning day? In their boyhood years these lads learned at first hand, they were only second class in their own land, stopped and searched by police each time they walked the streets, and degraded by each foot patrol they'd meet. To those RUCN soldiers it was fun to intimidate our children with their guns, but there's some young folk who won't take any more, and there's some that want to even up the score. Barry O'Donnell was a thorn in England's side, and he led his volunteers with dauntless pride. Sean O'Farrell stood beside him all the while, and we never will forget his roguish smile. Countless times in action these pair played their part, though they couldn't hold them broke the soldiers' heart. But those lads knew they lived on borrowed time, but they'd make their mark before they crossed the line. In Coal Island Square that February night, how the sentries in the barracks all took fright, for on the lorry coming straight ahead was a unit of the East Tyrone Brigade. From that lorry's back the Irish flag flew high, and the big machine gun pointed at the sky. And when Barry with that gun began to shoot, how the Brits they lodged their transfers to Beirut. As the tracer bullets split the barrack wall, no volunteers, they showed no fear at all. As the lorry drove away, the people cheered, little knowing that their cries would soon be tears. It was the boldest deed that little town had known in all the years of struggle in Tyrone. But it was the saddest night that town had come to know, for the SAS lay waiting at Clonard. It was not until they had the big gun down, our volunteers thought they were safe and sound, that the SAS they opened up from every side, and on that killing ground 4 brave lads died. We lost both Peter Clancy on that night, a volunteer who scorned Britannia's might. Young Paddy Vincent died there by his side. He lost his life for what he thought was right. We salute you, Barry Peter, Paddy Sean. Though you've left us, your memory will live on. For to the crown and knee you'd never bend, and you were bold and fearless to the end. So come all of you who love your native land, for peace and freedom we'll march hand in hand. Our 4 volunteers have not been lost in vain, from the ashes we will build our land again. Let me hear you. Come all of you who love your native land, for peace and freedom we'll march hand in hand. Our 4 volunteers have not been lost in vain, from the ashes we will build our land again. From the ashes we can build our land again. Ambush at Clonard there. Oh my God.
There you go, folks. Fantastic. Our Planksty folk there, Farrell and Sticks there, yeah. And that there's song or Ambush at Clonard there's going to be live on my CD, folks. That's going to be released tomorrow at 9 a.m. So look out for Facebook for the, and I'll actually post the link here as well. It's only available for sale, folks, on my merchandise website. It's just to do with also you can post your postage details and payment details and all. So there is loads and plenty of CDs, and also have I think there's 15 or 20 USB sticks as well. Seems they're going to be popular. I think they will all be sold out first. So basically they're both the same price, £11, okay, plus postage and packaging. So I think anywhere outside of the UK, I know I have to say we're technically in the UK for postage purposes, anywhere outside of the UK, which is down the road in the south, is about £3 I think, and anywhere in the UK is £1.50. So it isn't too bad. It's just to cover the price of the postage, folks. I'd say all the proceeds is going to be going towards the Suicide Awareness and Support Centre in West Belfast, and of course PIPS over in North Belfast. Right, so another 25 minutes, folks. We'll have today's guest on the phone, Kieran Warfield, of course, Dublin band Catalpa, and son of the legendary Brian Warfield. So I have 2 of Kieran's albums here, if you can see, to give away today. So it's Catalpa's albums, The Gathering and No Stone Unturned, 2 fantastic CDs. So if you have to listen up during the interview, because the question for the CDs is going to be a question I'm going to ask Brian, Kieran in the interview. So folks, so you have to stay tuned for that there. Right, so what are we going to do next? Yeah, so obviously sort of staying on the theme of the Hunger Strike songs this week. We're going to do another one that's a brand new song. It's actually an original track written by the band Dreams of Freedom in the south there, and this is a song called Ireland's Martyrs of 81. Fantastic. I was talking to Richie during the week from the band, and he sent me the track, and you can check out their Facebook. It's a class video as well, folks, for this song, so you'll be able to download it. So this is Dreams of Freedom with Ireland's Martyrs of 81. Maybe it's not what I pause now. See, I had the bloody volume turned down. That's it. Yeah, we'll try it again. This is Dreams of Freedom with Ireland's Martyrs of 81.
To break us they tried, but took us for fools. No brave volunteer would follow their rules. We fought till the end, our belief was so strong. We want a free Ireland where the Brits don't belong. 40 years have passed now since those brave young men stood up for their rights, the heroic gallant 10. Not even the cruelty they endured through that living hell could deter them from their cause in that Hitch Black cell. Bobby Sands from Belfast, a rebel to the core. Your name we will remember and cherish forevermore. Francis Hughes of Ballad, fearless against the crown, with your fight for Irish freedom, you never left us down. Those brave young men of 81, honoured to be free. Ireland's gallant soldiers, gone down in history. A gallant Ray McCreesh from South Armagh came he, as clever a soldier there was to evade the enemy. Patsy O'Hara, brave and bold, from the heart of Derry town, known for his resilience, they failed to break him down. Joe MacDonald from the Falls Road, a brave soldier was he, standing by his comrades, showing faith and loyalty. Martin Harrison was a member of the East Tyrone Brigade, courageous till the end, his defiance never swayed. Those brave young men of 81, hungered to be free. Ireland's gallant soldiers, gone down in history. Kevin Lynch of Dungiven, from a sporting family, to gain political status, their demands were priority. Kieran Doherty from Belfast, fighting for the prisoners' cause, with courage and with bravery to suppress cruel England's laws. Balahi's Thomas McElwee was the youngest of the 10. His unwavering determination will we ever see again. Mikey Devine from Derry, the last man to die, a rebel proud and true, and nobody can deny. Those brave young men of 81, honoured to be free. Ireland's gallant soldiers, gone down in history. Thatcher tried to quench the flame for our rights to be free, but British justice is all it was, now all the world can see. Prisoners of war is what we were, and that's no shame to say. We fought for our rights and integrity, and that's our legacy today. Those brave young men of 81, hungered to be free. Ireland's gallant soldiers, gone down in history. Those brave young men of 81, honoured to be free.
fought enough to last in the UDR, the Army and the SAS. But the lowest of the low is a foe you do not know, and that's a man they call the Supergrass. Singing rifle turbalally turbalee, there's no one who can tell a lie like me. You can search until you're tired, you'll never find a bigger liar. I'm the Supergrass, you'll see me on TV. I can name you people I have never seen, I can tell the places I have never been. For if the money's right, I would tell you black as white. I could tell you Jerry Adams loves a queen. Singing rifle turbalally turbalee, there's no one who can tell a lie like me. You can search until you're tired, you'll never find a bigger liar. I'm the Supergrass, you'll see me on TV. Spare a thought for poor Kilpatrick and for Black. Well, they're nervous now that Gilmore's got the sack. For they put their trust in villains, and they took the Saxon shillings. Their own hands put a noose around their neck. Singing rifle turbalally turbalee, there's no one who can tell a lie like me. You can search until you're tired, you'll never find a bigger liar. I'm the Supergrass, you'll see me on TV. To my native land I'll bid a fond farewell. Where I'm going is the one thing I won't tell, but I'll keep a watch behind me, for if anyone should find me, the only place I'd ever go is hell. Singing rifle turbalally turbalee, there's no one who can tell a lie like me. You can search until you're tired, you'll never find a bigger liar. I'm the Supergrass, you see me on TV. You may see my face in some exotic bar, in New Zealand or in far off Africa. I have no friends or relations, I betrayed the Irish nation. 30 silver pieces doesn't take you far. Singing rifle turbalally turbalee, there's no one who can tell a lie like me. You can search until you're tired, you'll never find a bigger liar. I'm the Supergrass, you'll see me on TV. Singing rifle turbalally turbalee, there's no one who can tell a lie like me. You can search until you're tired, you'll never find a bigger liar. I'm the Supergrass, you'll see me on TV. I'm the Supergrass, you'll see me on TV.
Send a Supergrass there for you. There's the Rebel Roots, Jordan Sticks. There's Sticks for the second time today. That old, well, I suppose he wasn't playing the bazooka. He was playing his guitar there, along with Jared Glacken. Elaine Heaney to say there, Marley Heaney, I'm starving, get the dinner on. Caroline Gold was looking Patriot game, please. I'm just talking about that song before that one there, the new, brand new Dreams of Freedom original song, Ireland's Martyrs of 81. Lots of great comments here coming from there. So there is Francis McPeak, fantastic ballad, God Bless the 10 Brave Men of 81. And Martin Mangan, well done, Dreams of Freedom, beautifully penned indeed. We'll jump over YouTube now and see what the crack is over here. So Hugh here is saying he cannot get his Facebook set up. It's like, see old people with Facebook. I know Hugh, he's hitting 70, like, but like he isn't that old, so he isn't, you know. And he just can't get it. I think somebody's got to do it for him, and maybe send him the password or something there, because he just cannot get the hang of Facebook, and he's missing out all the crack on the Facebook page here on the podcast. Let's see. Triona says Mairead, Farrell or Streets of Gibraltar. Well, I opened up with Streets of Gibraltar, Triona, so if you weren't listening, bad you. Yeah, but I'm going to play Mairead, Farrell next. So we Aaron says, yep, alright Cara, how's it going? Any chance of that request? I was waiting on you jumping on there, Aaron, so listen, I'm going to get it on very soon, okay? I think I have it in one of those albums I have here, so don't worry, I'll get it on for you, mate. But cheers for tuning in. Right, so what we're going to do next, yes, so we're back on, as it is, folks, yesterday was the 33rd anniversary of the death. Oh, so you were making the dinner? Okay, no problem. You should have the phone on when you're making the dinner in the kitchen, you know, like. Right, so yeah, I say yesterday was the 33rd anniversary of the the Gibraltar 3. Of course, we opened up the show with the Irish Brigade's version of the live version of The Streets of Gibraltar, of course, written by Mairead and Mickey McNally. Fantastic wee song, that one. And that song, of course, is what is on my new album, the Rebs for Hope, the album, and it's the Misa Era version. Of course, it's going to be on. Mickey singing that one as well. Fantastic, so it is. Right, so we're going to do this one next here, and this is, of course, we're going to do the Ballad of Mairead Farrell. Of course, Mairead was one of the volunteers, probably the most well-known of the volunteers, who was murdered over in Gibraltar. So, loads of different versions of this one, but it seems to be this is the one everybody wants to hear. So this is from Emer's album, Live at the Rock Bar. Beautifully sung. You see lots of fellas singing this song, and there's a version they always play of my friend Kieran McClean. Sort of tend to do that one every other week, and that was from their new 25th anniversary CD. But so we're going to do this one. This is the version that everybody seems to love at the minute. So this is Emer McLaughlin, and great to see her. She's back on Facebook after a wee ban. She's been censored, so she has. Right, so here we go. This is Emer McLaughlin live at the Rock Bar with the Ballad of Mairead Farrell on their 33rd anniversary yesterday, folks. Here we go.
Slow it down with a ballad this time of a local woman here from West Belfast, great Irish Republican who died in Gibraltar with Sean Savage and Daniel McCann. It's the ballad of Mairead Farrell.
Oh, do not stand at my grave and I am not there, I do not sleep. Oh, do not stand at my grave and cry when Ireland lives, I do not die. Is not at home. The fight for freedom, it still goes on. Oh, I took up my gun onto Freedom's Day. I pledged to fight for the IRA. So do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there, I do not sleep. Oh, do not stand when Ireland lives, I do not die. In Armagh's jails, I spent my time. Strip searches were a British crime. Oh, degraded me, but they could not see I suffered this to set Ireland free. So do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there, I do not sleep. Oh, do not stand at my grave and cry when Ireland lives, I do not die. Gibraltar's rock, the place I died. McCann and Savage heard the order rang loud and shrill of Thatcher's voice, saying shoot to kill. So do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there, I do not sleep. Oh, do not stand at my grave and cry when Ireland lives. I do not die. So do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there, I do not sleep. Oh, do not stand at my grave and cry when Ireland lives. I do not die. When Ireland lives, I do not die.
Memory of Mairead, Farrell, Sean Savage and Daniel McClean.
Yeah, folks, so we go. There's Ballad, Mairead, Farrell from Emer and the Glahan there live at the Rock Bar. So just can see there. So obviously Celtic have failed to beat Dundee today. So that means one thing, folks. The Rangers, as they're known, have officially won their first title. So they have. So it'll all look to see what's going to happen in a couple of weeks' time. Now, will Celtic give them a guard of honour at Parkhead? I'm hoping not, but I think they're going to. Like so, yeah, we'll feel. But there you go. Listen, folks, it was a foregone conclusion. It was going to happen for a while now, so it was. So we'll have to just accept it and get on with it, and hopefully move on the next season, get a new manager in, and try and get the title back. But anyway, yeah, so loads and loads of people there are loving that song there. There's Emer's voice, that's Emer McGlahan with Ballad, Mairead, Farrell, of course, folks, 33 years ago yesterday, on the anniversary of the Gibraltar 3. Right, so we're going to have Kieran Warfield on the phone next, folks, here for us. We're going to do today the first of Kieran's songs. This is one he's only put out last week. I think he wanted to get this recorded in the studio, but it didn't really work out. So I think he's recorded in his home studio, but still a great song. So he sent me during the week, and it's called An Stilk Ochrish, okay, and obviously it transfers to the hunger strike in Irish, but I'm not really up to speed in McGillick, ashamedly, so I had to send Anya Glackner a text her the other day, and she basically sent me a voice note with the correct pronunciation of this song. So Anya, thank you very much, as always. You're always my go-to person when I need to find out exactly what something means in Gaelic. So this is Kieran Warfield. We're going to have him on the phone after this song with his latest track, of course, for the 40th anniversary of the hunger strikes, and this is An Stilk Ochrish on Rebel Sundays, folks. Oh, you see, that's the Stevens one. For God's sake. Right, wait a minute. I had to get the one here that Kieran sent me. I think what I've done, I have what I done there was I played. I got Kieran to send me the song, right? So I did on WhatsApp. So I did, right, and basically I have sent Stephen's track the email instead of Kieran's track. So listen, what we'll do is, right, we'll get Kieran on the phone, right, now, and then we're going to play a couple of the Catalpa songs, and then on the show, and we'll try and get the proper one out there played before we're finished off. So let's see if we can get just Kieran here dialed up, folks, on the show. We'll go on with the interview, and apologies for that there. See, it's too many things happening during the week, folks. Organising interviews, getting interviews, questions read out for interviews, and these times it's just things we happen. You know, it wouldn't be my show on a Sunday if there wasn't a few wee sort of, let's just say, wee bloopers happening. You know, but we'll definitely try to get that song on that Kieran's done before the end of the show. So we're just trying to get him dialed up here now. Here we go. he's remembered him calling them, is he? The last time this happened was with John Connors. So it was. It looks like Kieran doesn't want to answer the phone today, folks. So I'll send him a wee text, alright, so we'll and see what the crack is with him and see what is happening. So see, this is all flustered me up nice, what has. So what we'll do, so somebody actually asked for Back Home in Derry or in the text, so we'll play this here one night from Crystal Coil's album, of course. Actually, no, we're going to do it. We're going to. Somebody asked earlier on for the People's Own MP, of course. Last week we started off with Bobby Sands with his fast on the 1st of March, last Monday. So of course, 66 days he lasted on hunger strike. I actually watched a couple of documentaries there on YouTube the other day. Fantastic. Right, see, there's Kieran trying to ring me now on my bloody phone. So listen, what we'll do. Right, let's see. I'll phone Kieran back now, right? Let's see. See, folks, see when your thing's live, this is what happens. It's live. It's no pre-recorded here, so it isn't. So, here we go. Oh. Hello, Ciaran, you there? I thought you forgot all about me, so did. The last time this year happened when I had a dead air ringtone was with John Connors, and that was a nightmare to get hold of him, so it was. But we'll forgive him, he was in a caravan somewhere, so we'll right, so listen, Kieran, welcome along to the show, mate. Thank you very much. As I say, I was looking to play your Unstock Ocris track there first, but I emailed myself the wrong track, so I'm going to try and get hold of it, right? But listen here, mate, thanks for coming on to the show today. You're very welcome. So listen,
no problem. Thanks for having me.
We always sort of start off the show, right, with asking people, like, how would you who was your first inspiration? How did you sort of get into music? But I think with your story, that's pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, you come from a very, very famous family of musicians. Your father Brian, obviously your uncle Derek as well, involved in the Wolf Tones. So obviously, tell me a wee bit about your youth and how much of an inspiration your famous dad was in you getting into music as a kid.
Well, to be honest with you, I think from having been dragged around the road, like we used to spend the summers, so probably from May onwards to end of September, the Wolf Tones would play every Wednesday in Shockfurbo and Spittle, every Thursday in the Glen Eagle Hotel, every Friday in the 2 Mile Inn in Limerick. Right. And then Saturday and Sunday you could be anywhere, like, you know, depending on it could be, you could be up in Donegal, you could be down in Wexford, you could be Cork or whatever. So that was continuous for us as kids. You know, we were constantly brought Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday away from home. So we tended to avoid the Wolf Tones concerts. So, like in the Glen Eagle, if Joe Cuddy or Joe Dolan was playing in the round room, we'd go in there instead of watching the Wolf Tones. So right, okay. I came very late into. I think I sort of rebelled against going into music, and my dad tried to put me into music lessons. First being accordion and then piano, and I sort of rebelled against that. I just didn't want to do music or learn music because that's what he did, you know. So it was only after I went to college and yeah, we're going to move on that sort of bit. But see, obviously, like, when you were a kid at school, right? Did obviously, like, was any of your other sort of classmates and teachers aware of who your dad was, and like, so, and did they know who the Wolf Tones were, like? I don't know, but I don't think they were as famous when we were younger. Never that we noticed, anyway. Like, we just knew that people went to, and that's what they did for a living, like, you know. Aye. So we never really considered them to be superstars. Like, they were on television quite a bit more back then, you know. So it was nice to see your dad on television, but nobody ever really treat you any differently because your dad was on TV or he played music, like, you know. So it's not something that I ever really noticed when I was growing up or when I was younger. You know, it was only when you got later on in life, you started going to Sheep's Cushley and the likes of that, you went, wow, this is actually pretty cool.
It's strange, like for me, obviously growing up in West Belfast here, I mean, like probably the Wolf Tones would have been the equivalent of U2, like in my eyes. You know what I mean? Obviously, sort of come from a big Republican family. That's all you ever had on the radio and like vinyls and stuff playing and CDs and all. Like, so it was crazy.
Yeah.
So obviously,
I used to love going up Belfast with him. You know, my mother didn't let me go up too often because of what was going on. But I used to sneak up on the other occasion with him.
Yeah.
But I used to love going up there because the gigs up there were so much different than it was.
Oh, I definitely.
It was,
more feisty than in the south anyway. Like, so obviously,
there was a bit more of an edge.
Yeah, you went to college to study construction, right? And sort of obviously quickly found out that playing a guitar was the easiest way to pick up girls. So tell me a wee bit about your college days and about obviously this famous guitar that you first learned to play on.
Yeah. Well, it was when I was going to. I went to, obviously, I was 18 when I went to college, and in the first year I was down in Carlow. I went to, you know, you'd be going to house parties and someone would take out a guitar and I'd say, jeez, he's getting all the women, like, you know, because he's playing the guitar. So I decided to pick it up, and then in the second year I was in college, I was voted in as Ents officer. So I was organising all the entertainment. And for Rag Week, I organised, for the opening of Rag Week, I had Christy Moore on the first night, and Christy obviously playing the guitar, you know, and all captivating the audience. I just said, "Jeez, you know what? I'm going to start learning this guitar better. You know, I'll pick it up." So the guitar that I learned on was one of my dad's guitar, and it was actually the guitar that he would have written a lot of his songs on. You know, it would have been one of his first guitar. It was it was the song that he wrote, or the guitar that he wrote Joe McDonald on.
Yeah.
So, but to me, it was just a guitar. It didn't have any significance, and I don't know where it ever went. Like, and I don't think my dad knows either. But it went missing anyway from the house, so we no longer have it, unfortunately.
It's actually strange. I'll bring up the podcast later on, but obviously one of the ones I listened to last week, I think it was actually the Joe McDonald one, when he had said about the guy in the pub or something. Told me I know where your banjo was. It was stolen. Somebody had stolen it a load of years later. He says, I know who has that there, like. But there you go. So actually, you may have moved on to the banjo after sort of getting the hang of the guitar. So was it easier to sort of learn the banjo after sort of playing the guitar for a while then, or?
Well, I think once you learn any instrument, you sort of get a grasp of music and how it works. Like, you know, so a stringed instrument, you know, it's quite similar. Like, 4 of the strings on the 5-string banjo are the same as on the guitar. So it's just getting your head around picking and the 5th string and how that works. But I just took to the banjo a lot easier. Now, I'm by no means anyway. I wouldn't class myself as a good banjo player. I can get away with playing chords and playing on stage, like, you know. But as far as, you know, a master of it, definitely not. Like, you know, I just don't have the patience to go to lessons. And I think to improve yourself in any way, shape or form, you need some sort of lessons. The same with guitar. Like, I just know, like, I can play dadgad. I've done it, but I just don't have a grow for playing trad music as such, and I just don't like the sound of the dadgad with the ballad, like, you know, so I just stick to standard chords.
Yeah. So obviously, New Year's Eve 2003, right, so you bump into a guy called Phil King. So what happens sort of for your career after this year then? What happens?
Well, Phil was sort of a middle of the road sort of singer, you know, and Phil had been over in Australia, and he'd just come back from Australia where he'd been playing a lot of the pubs that Martin O'Higgin and them would have played, you know, over there in around Sydney. And Phil was quite good. I just went up to him after he finished his gig and asked him would he be interested in, you know, doing a 2-piece and seeing how we got on. And from there we were joined by another guy, John Walsh, who played whistle. And it was only then when we were in the recording studio, we didn't even have a name at that stage, and it was only when we were in the recording studio we had to come up with a name for the band and a title for the album that we did. And that was how Catalpa was formed, because it was at the time I was reading the Catalpa Rescue book and I couldn't think of any other name.
So that's what the next question was going to be. So obviously the first album, and actually Breaking the Mold, it was called. So how did you like? What was the sort of the reason behind the name of the first album then?
Well, Breaking the Mold was the name of one of Phil's songs that he wrote, and I think it was just the fact that we needed a name, and it was probably the only one that sort of fitted in without, because we had the likes of other songs, like better. It was 4 of our own songs, I think, on that album, and I think then that other ones would have been pretty well known. We just didn't want to call it after that, so we couldn't come up with any other name. So Breaking the Mold was how we determined that from that song. It was the only one that fitted into an album name.
Right. So listen,
there was no real purpose behind it,
Stay on the line for a bit. So we're going to play basically a first track here to break up the interview, right? So obviously you're sort of highly associated with the IFA, whatever. The FAA. So it's the IFA there, the Irish Northern Ireland, the FAA. And we'll get into that there. But there's one song that sort of obviously now I think it sort of stands out with the whole James McClean thing. Obviously with the abuse he's getting online in England and stuff, which is discussing, like. So I'm going to play another track from it. This was the album Race, was it? It's called No Poppy, No Anthem. So obviously, given the abuse that sort of James is getting, it's sort of right. We should play this here song today. So firstly, tell me a bit about this song in particular, and also about how he went about writing the song and putting the lyrics to it.
Yeah. Well, myself and Phelim wrote that song together, and generally at the time James was getting abuse. It was the time that he played for I think West Brom were away in America on a pre-season tour, and the whole team when they were doing the lineups, they played the British national anthem before the game, and they obviously played the American national anthem. But James, all the other players faced the Union Jack, where James turned away.
Yes, I remember that. Yes.
Yeah, and he got slated. That was the start of the slating in the press and the abuse online because of that. But like he said he wasn't disrespecting he wasn't going to turn towards the Union Jack, and but he did nothing disrespectful. Like, he bowed his head, and as he said in his own words, I think he said he contemplated about the 14 people that were killed in Derry on Bloody Sunday. So it was because of that. Phelim put a few words together, and then this is what normally happens with me when Phelim write a song. Is Phelim puts it into a sort of a poem format, then I dissect it, or if it needs to be dissected, and then send it back to him. Then he puts a bit more in, and then I then put the music to the tune once we're happy on the words. The two of us are happy on the words, and that's how No Poppy, No Anthem. I think that was written. We wrote that in 2015, I think.
Yeah, so this is from the 2016 album, then Race. So this is from Catalpa. So listen, we'll play this here song now. So Kieran, then we'll get you back on the phone for the rest of the interview. So folks, this is Catalpa with No Poppy, No Anthem, of course, and dedicated for James McClean.
I was born in the Cregan in old Derry town, where civil rights protesters were shot by the Crown. Though unarmed and innocent, these people that died were dishonoured in death by propaganda and lies. No poppy, no anthem, my name's James McClean. I won't face you, Union Jack, for your God save the Queen. When a bloody Sunday apology took 38 years, and events of that day still brings Derry town to tears. Well, I played for my hometown and soon got the call. I crossed over to England to play league football, and when I was capped in the green of the south, for a proud Derry boy this was never in doubt. I then moved to Wigan, no poppy I'd wear, to stand with my people and the pain they still bear. My reasons for doing so came from the heart. I was vilified and threatened, this was only the start. No poppy, no anthem, my name's James McClean. I won't face your Union Jack, for your God save the Queen. When a bloody Sunday apology took 38 years, and events of that day still brings Derry town to tears. I don't care for your outrage, abuse or your threats. The crown is a symbol of those unlawful deaths, an indelible scar since the day I was born. 14 innocent people from their families were torn. No puppy, no anthem, my name's James McClean. I won't face your Union Jack for your God save the Queen. When a bloody Sunday apology took 38 years. Dirty towns is here. What to wear or how I should stand. I'm honest, hard-working and proud of my land. And I will not be bullied for poppy or song. I won't hide my support for that terrible wrong. No poppy, no anthem, my name's James McClean. I won't face your Union Jack for your God save the Queen. When a bloody Sunday apology took 38 years, and events of that day still brings dirty towns to tears. Yes, events of that day still brings dirty town to tears.
There we go, Seneca Talpa there for you with No Poppy, No Anthem, of course, dedicated to James McClean. So, are you still there, Ciaran? I think I muted his microphone. Let's see. Right. Oh, well, there, Ciaran.
I am indeed.
Yes, happy days. I think I muted your microphone because I heard you sort of rustling and stuff while I was playing their song from Spotify, so obviously it's on the same line. So it is. That's why I sort of heard you in the background. Right. But listen here, not to worry. Right, so we're back onto the questions. 2 seconds here. Right, so obviously sort of not long after you sort of recorded that there, I think maybe that album, you've done a tour of America. So you did. So how did you sort of end up winging the tour of America, and whereabouts did you go to?
It was just, it was sort of planned. I got a gig through a guy up in upstate New York, in Highland Mills, and he then said, I can organise you a few gigs around that area, you know, so you wouldn't have to pay for hotels and stuff like that. So from there, I had a contact in New Jersey as well, that because I had lived in New Jersey for a bit when I was in college for a summer, so I got gigs through them as well, and so we stayed above this pub in Highland Mills, which is out by shopping, you know. It's about an hour outside of New York City. And so we stayed above the pub, which is great crack, and it was just a mad pub. And the plan was that we played Hoboken in New Jersey. Then we played somewhere just outside of the city. Then we played up where the American Choppers is, Walden. And then we played in Highland Mills. We were finishing our last gig in Highland Mills in the pub we were staying above, so we said at least we can have a few drinks, you know, a bit of crack. So that gig was kicking off, I think, around 11. But by the time we got there, everyone was hammered, like, you know, they were absolutely
out of it.
And we got there late because all our gigs had run late because it was absolutely lashing snow that time when we were in New York. And so we got there quite late. So I think it was around 10 past 11 when we turned up. So all these people started helping us take our gear in out of the car, you know, so we could get set up quickly. So I'd say we were only 10 minutes into playing the gig, and next of all, a rail broke out, and the whole pub just exited out into the car park, and it was just this, it was like something out of a movie, almighty fist fight out in the car park.
Right.
So we just put down our instruments, went to the bar and drank
that walked away there, like, crazy.
Yeah.
So obviously, that long, we sort of come home then, and you sort of got this experience, your first visit to the legendary Barlands in Glasgow. Obviously, probably a lot of occasions since then, and supporting the Wolftones. So tell us a wee bit about that first gig, and did you really play a U2 song at your very first song, that set?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. See, we were given a 15-minute slot because Adelante were playing at the time before the Wolftones.
Right, okay.
So I guess my dad just threw me a small gig just to give me a taste of what it was.
Right.
And so the Barlands, I don't know whether you've ever been there, but the stage is huge, like, you know, and for two lads that I've only played in local pubs, you know, to go on this stage was nerve-wracking. But I was trying to pretend that I didn't have any nerves, you know. And
secretly shitting yourself.
I was shitting myself, like, you know. And even though there wasn't that many people, and it was just the whole thing of getting onto, like, I'd been in the Barrowlands a good few times before that,
yep.
You know, from going over to see Celtic play or whatever. And to be standing on the stage, you know, because I never, even when I went there, I never went backstage. I always stayed out front when I went to gigs to see the Wolf Tones there. So this was even my first time going backstage, like, you know. So did the sound check and all, which really fucking had me shitting myself. And so when it came to introducing, I said, look, Phil, you're going to have to introduce us, because I had this really cheap banjo, Mexican banjo that I'd swapped with my dad for a guitar, and it had a long cable in it it was a fixed pickup on it, you know. It was a really cheap pickup. So I said, look, I'm going to have to plug into the banjo into the DI box, and you're going to have to introduce us. So Phil I think he was more nervous than me. So,
so he said, I'll play you too, just to ease the nerves here. Like,
well, I said, look, you just pretend you're in your granny's and sing the song that you're most comfortable. So what do you want to start with? He says, well, with or without you. Oh, okay.
How'd that with them? I know the Celtic drunk fans, like.
They were just all looking at us, like, you know, like it just had all this blank look. Looking at us. So I think they were glad to see the back of us by the time 15 minutes came about. But then after that, then Phil had obviously left, and I think myself and Damien Quinn and Martin O'Higgin played there and a friend of Martin's, Porrick, I think it was, an accordion player. The four of us played it then, I think the following year after that.
Yeah, fantastic. So you then got a gig of a sort of stint over in Santa Ponsa, and obviously it's my favourite holiday destination, like, so it is. Can't wait to get back again. So tell us a bit about your first sort of stint over there in Santa Ponsa.
Well, we got the gig, I don't know whether you know Tony Buckley from the Shamrock, and Dicey Riley's. He owned the two bars over there at the time. I think Dicey's is now gone. And Tony came to see us play in the Submarine. We were supporting the Wolf Tones at a charity gig in the Submarine bar in Dublin. And afterwards, Tony invited us, said, would you like to come out for 3 weeks in the summer? So we were all up for it. So we went across for the 3 weeks, and really enjoyed it. Like, probably too much. We on the flight on the way home, we missed our connection in Madrid. And we were that ill from the drink. We were given vouchers, you know, for free drink and free food.
Jesus.
We couldn't even leave the bedroom to go get a decent drink. I don't think I've ever been so sick. Yeah, but Santa Ponsa was brilliant. I loved it. We mainly played in Dicey's, and then Tony invited me back over then when the Celtic convention was there. I played with another guy, Stephen Heenan, who was a resident over there for Tony, and we played before Shebean most nights. So we'd be on before Shebean come on then which was just Alan and Pat of Shebean. Yeah. And they come on for an hour and a half, and then we go back on for an hour after them. So it was great crack. You know, it was good.
Spoke to Marty Higgins a few times, but obviously I had him on the interview last year, and I just said I don't know how he does it. Like he tried to sort of say, listen, look, he tries to split up his holiday time and his like sort of working time, but obviously a lot of times he ends up rid off. But like literally almost a year he spends out there like singing every single night in Dublin. Like I don't know how it's not for everybody. Like so it doesn't.
I've said it to Martin. I said it's the height of respect from anyone that could. That's like an endurance test out there. anyone that can spend a season out there. Like I spent 3 weeks, and I like it's only hardcore. You have to be hardcore to live out there. You either have to be very disciplined or a hardcore drinker. I was neither disciplined nor neither a hardcore drinker. So.
So obviously then Phil has sort of moved to Limerick to get married then, right? And you have sort of are on the lookout for a new band member. So what way did you sort of restructure the band, and sort of how did the obviously forming the bigger band then go that sort of you are now?
Well, it wasn't a case of restructuring. It was just a case that I was too, I wouldn't say shy at this stage, but I was never very confident in my singing ability. So to go solo, so it was either find someone or or give up the music, and I didn't want to give up the music because at that stage I was enjoying it. And I've done a few solo gigs, and I tend to not like them because you're up there on the stage by yourself. You're not having any crack. So if the audience aren't interacting with you, there's no crack. Whereas when I'm on stage with the two lads now, we just be having the crack and laughing at each other. And if someone makes a mistake, we just break our hearts laughing at, or whatever. There's always something going on and a bit of crack. So, so at the time it was just a case of finding someone to be able to keep on playing music. So it was a case, I found another guy that had played in the same place, that guy Stephen Heenan that I was telling you about. I found him before I introduced him to Tony, and he went across then to Santa Ponsa. But Stephen had been playing in the same place that Phil had in Australia, over in Sydney. So he came in, again, he didn't have any ballads on him at all, like no ballads, no rebels. So I had to teach him all them. And then we were joined by Claire Sherry, who was she'd be well-known trad fiddle player, right? And we got gigs over in Switzerland and places like that. We mainly away from Ireland more so than gigs in Ireland, because Claire was always busy as well with the trad stuff here anyway. But we had good times, and then Steve then obviously went to Santa Ponsa where he met his wife over there. So it was back on looking for more people then, and just by chance we had got the thing with the FAI.
Well, that's what I was going to bring in next. So obviously, tell us a wee bit about yours and the band's relationship with the FAI. Obviously, you play now before all the Ireland home games, so you do, and stuff, and you're sort of high up in the supporters groups. So how did this whole relationship first come about?
We were playing the City West. The Wolf Tones were playing the City West, and we played outside not in the main room. We were playing in a small little room off to the people, before they went into the Wolf Tones.
Yes. Yep. I know it is. Yep.
Yeah, and so we were playing there, and afterwards this guy came up to me and he said, would you be interested in doing the gig? Now, you normally get that, after gigs with people full of drink, come up and ask you if,
promise him in the stars and don't see him again.
Yeah, so I tend not to listen to it. You listen to it, but you tend not to take much notice of it. And so he came up, he said, well, we're running a gig down in Mullingar for the very first Confederation of Republic of Ireland Supporters Clubs. Would you be interested in doing it? Of course I said, yeah, grand, yeah. Yeah, she just get me on Facebook, whatever. So I wasn't expecting to hear anything ever again. And then I think it was in July, that gig that we did in the City West would have been around March, I think, or April. And it was in July then I got a phone call saying that would I be interested in coming down to play in the Mullingar Park Hotel for the very first one. So we went down, and at the time Martin O'Neill and Roy Keane had just taken over Ireland.
Right, okay.
So they were both there. They were doing a Q&A with the fans. So they did a Q&A before we went on stage, and then we took the stage after them. So it was nice. It was a good bit of crack, and everybody had a bit of crack. John Delaney was there, obviously, and he got up to do Joe McDonald, but all phones had to be put away at the time. I don't really remember the scandal with him singing to Joe McDonald.
Serious?
Remember that?
John Delaney did?
Yeah.
Right.
John Delaney, yeah, he got caught singing it in the pub. And all the great headlines. He had to apologise to
arsehole him, anyway. Give him not too much airtime, like John Delaney.
No, but he was in charge at the time. So from there, I got to know Jerry Reardon of the FAI, and Jerry had asked us would we be interested in doing this gathering. At the time, people were getting money for doing things, bringing people back home to Ireland, called the Gathering.
Right.
So he was able to get money on the basis of bringing the supporters clubs back from the UK and Scotland and Belgium, and they've a lot of supporters clubs that are outside of Ireland. And we said yes. So the next home game, which I can't remember what game it was, but I think it might have been Serbia or Finland. I can't remember, but it was outside in the Sandymount Hotel, which is, I don't know whether you know, it's not far from Lansdowne Road, and they had a little marquee out there which holds, I would say, very tightly packed 300 people.
Right.
So we were playing there, and it was freezing. I'll never forget. It was October, November. It was freezing cold, and we were all set up. And the first thing that first people that came into the tent was all the guys from West Belfast, the sports club in West Belfast. And I've never been happier to see a bunch of lads, because I thought at this stage nobody was going to turn up. For the
straight into the Rebs, then, like.
So for the very first gig, I think we had about 100, maybe 80 to 100 people in that tent. But then 3 gigs later, we were, it was filling up really early, and people were getting in even before we were setting up to get a space. So it became quite a good gig. But then we left the Sandyman because they started demanding. They had put in objections to some of the songs we were singing, so we were asked to tone it down, or they wouldn't be allow us to play there. So the FAI contacted me and said, I asked them what songs were they objecting to, and they couldn't tell me. So they said, you do out your set list, and we'll tell you which ones you can sing or not. So I did out this set list. And one of the songs they objected to was a song that I wrote called Blood and Timber, which is about the game of hurling.
Because it had blood on it, probably.
So they objected to that. So straight away their argument was lost. Like they picked out, they picked out 2 other non-Republican songs as well, like along with Joe McDonald. So I said, I'm not going to play here. So we agreed that. We drop it. We dropped the songs out of it, and at that stage we'd made up our mind that we were going to move on. And we didn't drop. We didn't drop any of the songs out of it. We played them because we knew it was our last gig there. Anyway.
Played them a few times each.
So if we didn't play John McDonald for the West Belfast guys, we would have been lynched.
Oh, yeah. So now, tell us a wee bit about pre-COVID, right? And I suppose probably your latest venture, the Bandwagon bus. So it's basically a double-decker tourist bus that people can get a tour around Dublin while listening to live Irish trad music and whatever. So tell us a wee bit about this idea. It sounds brilliant, Kieran.
Yeah, we got it. Myself and my wife got the idea. We were the company she works for does they kit out all the Dublin bus double deckers. And they did I don't know whether you ever seen it going around Dublin. It was like for the 2016, for the 100-year anniversary of 1916, they had a bus going around the centenary. They didn't have any music on it, and I couldn't understand why they had a centenary bus going around of 1916 with no music, not doing the Foggy Dew or any of these songs. So I was going, we should explore doing that. So just by chance it came up in a conversation with Katrina's boss, and there was a double-decker bus that was available, so we kitted it out, did a design for it, and kitted it out. I kitted it out with a professional music system inside, that you'd put in a pub, and we turned seats around on the top deck so that the band would face the audience, and we launched it the week before COVID.
Hi. So, do you actually own the bus? Are you just leasing it out or from another company, or what's the crack there?
No. We the bus is owned by Martin's Coaches.
Right. Okay. Right.
And Paul Martin is part of the business, so the company owned the bus as such, it's just at the moment, like, we just have it parked up in the yard in Taylor's Lane, so it's not costing money as such, but it's I just can't wait to get it back out on the road, because the crack, if you see it when it's out in Dublin, or just the faces of people as you're driving around the city, people dancing, singing along, because we go down O'Connell Street singing. We start off with Molly Malone, and then we go into the Foggy Dew, and then we go, as you're going around. One thing we always do is when we're going down past Leinster House, we always sing a rebel song, just for the fact that we're going past Leinster House. And then, so when we get up to Kilmainham Jail, we do Grace,
okay.
And then we probably do James Conley or something like that.
So is it the whole band plays, just yourself and somebody else, or what's the sort of lineup of the musicians?
It's the three of us from Catalpa, but hopefully, like when things get busy, like we won't be able to do all the tours. So, and the plan is to get other bands involved, and also do, like we were there just before Christmas. We were going to have the Oasis tribute band out on it. But that didn't happen, obviously, because everything went into lockdown. So it's not just the main tour will be all ballads and rebel songs, like, but there will be other.
It definitely sort of seems like this is like a gold, it's like a pot of gold for American tourists. This here, just to be like so much up their street, like, so it is. Whenever
you need a tourist, like, you know.
Yeah, definitely. So actually, let's now sort of talk about you definitely have your dad Brian's knack for writing a song or two, right? So, and you give me a list of all the ones just sort of yourself and the band have done. Massive, it's about 15, 16 songs. So would you ever like actually think about releasing an album with all original songs on it?
Well, the first album, Rise, was all our own songs.
Oh, was it? Right, okay. Right.
The one which we...
Right.
Yeah.
I actually only came across that one there for the James McClean songs. I hadn't seen the whole album, so apologies for that there. Like, that's all your own stuff then, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all our own stuff, but I think... See, the problem with the releasing all your own stuff is that when people see the album, then they don't recognise any of the songs, and they want to see songs that they recognise. There's something to compare it to. So we sort of learned a lesson from that, was that you can't release an album of all your own songs, not yet. You know, like, it's very hard to get a song out there, you know, a new song out there, because people want to hear songs that they can relate to, or, you know, they grew up with, or something that means something in their life, like, you know. So getting new material out there is quite hard, you know.
Then trying to sell it as well is another thing. So obviously, we'll talk now a bit about the new podcast, right? With you and your dad, Brian. It's called Brian and Kieran Warfield's Rambling Irish Balladeer podcast. Now, obviously, being a lorry driver, that's all I do. I listen to podcasts all day. It sort of gets me through the day, so it does, like. Listen to all sorts of podcasts, and honestly, I really love, and I like the talking ones more than the music ones. I really love this one, just the way you just sort of talk away about old stories and memories. Sometimes just go way off on a tangent out of it, like, and then just come back in again, and sort of what they're actually talking about. I mean, so tell us a wee bit first about why you sort of decided about setting the podcast up.
Well, it came after reading. My dad did a book about his life on the road, and he got a lot of stories into it. But it's only when the Wolf Tones have now started to slow down, obviously, because Tommy's 76, my dad's 74, and Noel's 75. Like, you know, so it's they're getting to an age now where they can't do as many gigs as they. Like, my dad has, he's suffering from Parkinson's, and he has diabetes. He's had diabetes quite a long time, you know. So the Parkinson's is progressively getting worse, you know, and more noticeable now. Noel has health issues as well, and Tommy has arthritis in his hands where he can barely hold a pick in it, you know, for his guitar. So anyway, from reading that book, and having spent more time where my friends could ask me that question when we're sitting down having a pint, I said, there's so much more there that didn't go into the book, you know, that you could talk about, like, you know. So I said, look, you should be leaving something behind for your grandchildren, you know, that you know, because we have old tape recordings of my granddad singing in his sitting room and stuff like that. So I said, we should leave something behind. So I said, why don't we do, you know, record, we sit down and have a chat. And then we got on to saying, well, we could just put it into a podcast and put it out there, and we just not have any. There's no format to it as such. Like, you know, it's just the two of us sitting in the sitting room and just shy talking, really. Like, you know, just going. It could start the way we said we'd work it was that we'd start out. We'd pick out with the very first album that the Wolf Tones had out, which was the Foggy Jewel, which was on the Fontana label. And there's 15 songs on that album, and we said we'd just name them each episode after the song on that album. So, so the last episode there that we recorded is called The Louse House in Kilkenny.
So what's the plans for one a weekend, one episode a week, or just whenever it takes your fancy, you'll maybe do two a week or something, or what's the?
No, we're just do one a week. Well, so in some cases we've recorded 2 in the 1 week, where we overran the time because we were just talking and just not really paying any attention to the time. But they tend to. My dad tends to get tired, especially with his legs get quite sore when he's sitting for any length of time. We've decided to just sit down for 1 episode now going forward. So, and we just said we do it while lockdown's on, while he has time. Like, because normally he wouldn't have that time. He'd be.
I think something that came across my eye last week was when I was flicking through TikTok, and I was like, and Brian Morphy, what the hell is this? And he came across, and and obviously I flicked, I like their page, and it's great. I mean, it's basically just a lot of people asking questions, and he'll sit there and give us on, and it's brilliant. Like, so whose idea was it? His grandson or something to go on the TikTok, or what happened there?
Yeah, it was his grandson Oren, which my sister Lara, her son, said that he should go on TikTok. So he went on. I think he's 40,000 followers.
Madness.
50,000 followers.
Fantastic. Like, so what way there does he just go out there every other day and just log in and look at the questions, or what? Or what way? What?
To be honest, I've not seen it because I'm not on TikTok.
Right.
So.
No, you have to. It's good cracks with us, like. Good laugh. So then, obviously, it's sort of post-COVID. Then, so Kieran, what's the plan for Catalpa, if and when we actually get out of this shit show?
Well, we're just going to go back and do what we're doing. Like we're probably the worst band at publicising ourselves. We don't do very much publicity. We don't go chasing gigs. So we just. I guess it's the places that we played in beforehand. We play like when COVID's just after the first lockdown. We played a few places, that we were in due to play in beforehand, and we offered our services free of charge, just to help them get back on their feet. But because for us, it's not about the money. Like I just do it for the love of the music. So we get back out there playing in the pubs that want to have us and clubs that want to have us, and we'll definitely get back into the studio and record the album, the new album, which will have 4 or 5 new songs on it. So looking forward to doing that, because working in the studio, we work with Keith Connolly, he's been producing the Wolf Tones albums for the last, a long time anyway. And working with him has been great. It's really improved us as a band. Made us a little bit more conscientious of what we're doing and how we do it.
Right, so what one sort of question that obviously a lot of people have PM me about and stuff, and obviously we're going to. It's about the Wolf Tones. You're actually pretty close to your dad. So how do you think? Like, obviously they're no spring chickens. You just said there what age they all were. How much sort of longer do you think they can go on as a band, like as the Wolf Tones, and like physically go out gigging every week?
I mean, I know my dad will go on until he's not able to get on the stage any longer. But I don't know. Like, Tommy's threatened to retire a few times now, but I think they still all have a big draw for getting on the stage, and doing it, And I remember when my dad got sick a few years ago, he had a mini stroke, and he was in hospital, and they had 2 gigs that they had to fulfill, and so I had to stand in and I remember then we played a small little place down on the second night down in Tipperary, and I said to my dad, you need to make yourself less available, you need to make yourself more exclusive, where you're not doing as many gigs, because you can't keep on the ways you're going, after you got sick. So they made themselves less and less available, which was the right thing to do, because they were killing themselves, what they were doing. They were travelling. One night to be in Cork, the next night to be up in Donegal, it was just crazy stuff, so they just said they need to plan themselves a bit better, and so that's what they've been doing, and I think until either one of them dies or they'll just keep going on stage. Now there'll just be less and less gigs as you grow. I think they might cut them down to 30 gigs a year. I think they're doing about 40 now at the moment.
So
pre-COVID, so there won't be as much, because when we were younger, my dad was playing 7 nights a week,
Crazy.
You wouldn't see him.
Obviously, like, I'm sure you've been up to the field a few times with the band. What do you sort of, obviously you've been backstage and you spoke to her dad and stuff. How do them? I take it, would that be one of the biggest gigs a year for them? Is like to play in West Belfast here, like?
I would definitely be one of the biggest. Yeah. I mean, well, I was up at the last Fail and it was just it grown. It was, I think it was 12,000 at the last one.
Amazing.
Yeah, but I remember being at it when it was in the big top, like, you know, where there was still a great atmosphere, and it's like, you know, and still a fantastic night, like, you know, and I love going up. And I remember going when they've played in the Ardine as well.
Yep.
Before that, like,
no,
you know,
the football pitch, yeah. No,
but he loves it, like, you know, you get a great buzz off playing. Like, when I play on the Barrowlands, look, when you come off that stage, you know, you can drink all night, you just couldn't get drunk because the adrenaline.
Adrenaline,
like, you know.
Yeah. Right, so listen, before we finish up, right, we're getting the guests to do this sort of, not like a wee quiz thing, but it's basically just a lot of questions about different bands and stuff you've seen, right? So I sort of seen this on Facebook a while ago, and I said, well, I'll bring this in and bring it incorporate in the interviews on the show, just to do a bit something different, right? So obviously, well, there's about, I think there's about 6 here, so we just give you your answer. So yourself then, the very first concert you went to.
Do I have to answer this in public?
Yep, go ahead.
ABBA.
ABBA? You're showing your age there now, Kieran. ABBA? Where did you go and see Evans?
Well, outside of the Wolf Tones, ABBA. Yeah, I remember my dad brought us to see ABBA in the RDS with my grandmother and my grandfather. Yeah, I think I was very young. I can barely remember it now.
Yeah, you were dragged along to it. You were not through choice.
Well, in fairness now, they were good-looking girls.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it would be a good show, like. Right, so the last concert you went to, then?
The last concert I went to, Jesus, I answered that, but I can't remember now what it was.
Was it Shebeen or something you said? Was it?
Oh, Shebeen, yeah, in Patters. In Patter Brown's was Shebeen, yeah.
I think it was actually one of the last gigs they did too, so it was actually last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Their flag, their big flag still there, I think. They didn't bring it home with them. It's still, Eden still has it in the back somewhere. Right, so the best concert?
Best concert I was ever at was U2 down in Parky Keeve, I think, would be up there, or Bruce Springsteen in Slane.
I'd say Bruce and Slane there, like, definitely. So I find that a lot of people are, but answering this one, like different musicians go, the one in Solno, but say the worst concert then you went to?
Worst concert for me was definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, Nathaniel Raycliffe and the Night Sweats.
Who? Nathaniel?
Nathaniel Raycliffe and the Night Sweats.
The Night Sweats, right? Okay, they sound like a right bunch of lads there.
They had one famous song, and my missus loved it, and she made me go to the gig. I had to buy tickets for the gig, and got there, and apart from that one, I think they played for 45 minutes. I think it was 60 quid for a ticket.
Right?
And played 45 minutes, and then they left the stage, and I thought, they're taking a break.
They're coming back. That was it.
The lights came on. They didn't know their material. They only had 45 minutes. And apart from that one song, every other song was absolute rubbish.
60 quid a ticket, Jesus. Right, so the loudest concert then?
Loudest concert? God. I can't remember what I put for that. What did I put?
It's like something Slane or something, was it? You put down?
Well, Slane would always be good, especially if you're up the front in Slane. Like, definitely, you know, you can nearly feel the bass bins fucking pressing on your chest, you know, when you're that close to the stage. So I was at a lot of Slane gigs. I was at. Did
you ever get to see Aslan at Slane? Did you?
Guns N' Roses. I seen Aslan at Slane. I see Guns N' Roses. I think Guns N' Roses were probably the loudest.
Crazy, right?
So yeah, I seen Queen and Slane as well.
Oh, amazing! That'd be brilliant. So seen the most, probably the Wolf Tones. Then would have to be.
Seen them, definitely the Wolf Towns, outside of the Wolf Towns, I've seen Jerry Cinnamon quite a bit recently.
I've tried to get him twice to go and see him, and both times it's been bloody cancelled because of bloody COVID. So I'm hoping that this year we'll eventually get to see him, like, but fingers crossed, like.
I seen Jerry he played in the Academy in Dublin. He was meant to play in Whelan's, and it was only 12 quid for a ticket in the Academy, and we were to be doing a gig in Lansdowne Road. So I didn't go into the game because I wanted to go see Jerry Cinnamon. You know, at the time he wasn't as well known.
Yeah.
And went down to the academy. The gig had already started, but the atmosphere when I walked in, and my wife had never heard of him before, but as soon as she walked in that door, she was just taken by it, just the atmosphere, just everything about it. And then everybody after the gig just ended up out on the street.
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
was just a big congregation. The Lewis was stopped. Everybody's just singing.
Even
the songs.
My own wife, she said actually she's never heard of it. She got us tickets. She wanted to go to it, and she said, "Listen, do me a USB of all the stuff, so I can learn the songs in the car. I would listen to it." And she actually got to learn all the songs, and then the 2 concerts were bloody cancelled. So they were. But right. So most surprising. 3 more to go. Most surprising.
Most surprising. What did they put for that? Most surprising.
Was it Erasure, you said?
Oh yeah, Erasure with my wrists again. Yeah. I actually, you know, obviously I'd heard Erasure, like, you know, and I knew what this song, and but just seeing them live was just on a different level altogether. Like, you know, they were just brilliant. Like the electric.
Sure, yep. The 80s,
yeah. Brilliant.
So I think you picked the same as myself, so wish you could have seen then. Johnny Cash as a live, like, amazing. It's would have been a fantastic concert, like. Love Johnny Cash,
love
like.
Johnny as well. Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
So finally, and who you'd want to go and see, they could still get to see then?
Who would I say that again?
So the last one, what band you'd still like to go and see that you haven't seen yet?
Oh, what did I put for that? Jesus Christ, my memory of my head, like it's it.
I can't even remember because you sent me on WhatsApp. So you did, but sure, whatever.
Yeah.
But listen, right. So we're going to play one more song here, right, from yourself, and it's from I think it's from the No Soul in Our Internal album. Obviously, last week Monday was the anniversary of Start of the Hunger Strikes, Bobby Sands' first day. So it's a song we're going to do called Bobby. So it is. So listen, before we kick it off, tell us a wee bit about writing this song.
Yeah. Well, when I first started playing music, the very first Irish song I learned was Back Home in Derry, and that was obviously written by Bobby Sands to the music of the record of Edmund Fitzgerald. And I got to read a lot of Bobby's stuff, and I was reading the poem play that he did called The Crimes of Castlereagh, and I always wondered what it would have been like to write a song with Bobby, and so I decided to take 2 verses from The Crimes of Castlereagh and turn them into a song along with 2 of my own verses. So the chorus in the song is Bobby's own words, and the first verse is Bobby's own words. The chorus I had to change a little bit just to fit into the music, you know, from Bobby's own words, but it's not far off what he wrote in the opening lines of The Crimes of Castlereagh. So it's just for that reason, just purely that I just wanted to, you know, to imagine myself sitting with Bobby and writing a song. Yeah,
but so Kieran, listen, thank you very much, mate. It's been a pleasure. I suppose maybe like a lot of these guests are getting the show, maybe actually get to meet you one of these days. We can get a yarn. So listen, mate, appreciate it. Thank you very much for coming on today.
Thanks for having me.
So listen, folks, here we go. This is Catalpa with Bobby. There we go.
I scratch my name upon the whitened wall. Awful, shaky, nervous crawl. Bobby Sands was here I wrote, wanting to leave this world a note that I was sane and not to blame. These were my words just to testify. Should this be the last place that I lie? Should it be in this Hitch Black that I die? All things come to pass as one, so hope could never die. There is no height or bloody might free man can't defy. There is no source of foreign force that can break one man who knows that his free will nothing can kill. From that freedom grows. Scratch my name upon the whitened wall in awful, shaky, nervous scrawl. here I wrote, wanted to leave this world unknown, that I was sane and not to blame. These were my words just to testify. Should this be the last place that I lie? Should it be in this Hitch Black that I die? Once that time my weakened wrist, held in place with their iron fist to break me and then my cause, fight against their unjust laws. So with the last ounce of my strength, this message to my jailers sent, that I will fight those still intent to keep my land enslaved. I scratch my name upon the whitened wall, in awful shaky nervous scrawl. Bobby Sands was here I wrote, wanting to leave this world and note that I was sane and not to blame. These were my words just to testify. Should this be the last place that I lie? Should it be in this Hitch Black that I die? I prepare for final sleep, pray to God my soul he'll keep, and those I have held so dear shall forever with me be. My final hours in this dark cell, to my comrades I now bid farewell. Hope our pain was not in vain, we will overcome. I scratch my name upon the whitened wall, in awful shaky nervous scrawl. Bobby Sands was here I wrote, wanting to leave this world and note that I was sane and not to blame. These were my words just to testify. Should this be the last place that I lie? Should it be in this Hitch Black that I die? Should it be in this Hitch Black that I die?
There we go. There's the brilliant Catalpa with the song Bobby. Of course, all written by Bobby Sands. And that was Kieran Warfield there, folks, for the last bit there you had on the show. Great interview, Kieran. Thank you very much. Really well spoken. A few stories I didn't really know about, so fantastic. Jerry Glacken, very interesting, entertaining interview. Jerry, thanks very much for tuning in, mate. Hopefully Jerry will make it that interview with you on the show here one of these days, so we might, we'll never know. Right, Aaron Fagan, he's pestering me here now. He says, Freedom's Walk, Cara, we shout at the mate Connor Stewart. It's going to be on next. Aaron for you, don't worry, mate, it's coming on next. Chill the beans, as Dal says. Isn't that what he says? Cool your beans or chill your beans, one of the two. Michelle Keegan, great interview. James Devin McClean, another brilliant interview. Real well done, really enjoyed listening to it. Happy days, folks. Right, let's see who do I have on YouTube. What's happening here? Martin Heaney, brilliant interview, real well done. Great, there we go. Hugh O'Neill, RIP, the men of 81. Your names were never forgotten, right, folks? So what we have here now, a wee giveaway. We're going to do it live in the show now, okay? So obviously you heard Catalpa. I have two of Kieran's albums to give away. The one, No Stone Unturned, which has that song on it there, Bobby. And of course, Catalpa, this one here is called The Gathering. So it is. So what we're going to do is, if you're listening to the interview, right, so we're going to give away one CD on the Facebook stream and one CD away on the YouTube stream, just so Hugh doesn't start his crying, you know. I'm only joking, Hugh. So we're going to give, then the question is, Rich, you had to be listening, folks, to the interview. So tell me this, what song did Catalpa open up with their what U2 song did Catalpa open up with in their very first song when they played in the Barrowlands in Glasgow? So for their very first time playing in the Barrowlands, what was the very first song that they played on stage at the Barrowlands, opening up for the Wolftones? So it was a U2 song, and what song was it? So we're going to give the first person on YouTube and the first person on Facebook to give it the answer is going to get one of these CDs each, and I'll post them off to you this week, folks. So we'll So there we go. Right, so we'll go on, shoot on with the show. And we've got another hour to go for you, folks. So this one's from my wee mate Aaron Fagan over in Whitewell there. He's looking at this one, bit of Kathleen Largy with Freedom's Walk. And there's Pedro. What's crack, mate? You know, you're looking well. How you doing? You on the beers again last night, mate? You're probably suffering a bit today, are you? Hope you're out the bike this morning, getting them cobwebs right off. Right, so just we'll have here on Facebook. There we go. Kieran McAnaroy. Well, you're right there. So he has the first. He's the winner of the first CD. So Kieran on Facebook. Kieran McAnaroy. So is that Kieran McAnaroy in Irish? He is the winner, and Martin Kane is the winner on YouTube. So yeah, so we'll have our two winners, folks. Marty Kane, you have the first CD on the YouTube stream. Of course, it was U2, With or Without You, so it was. And Kieran McAnaroy. So listen, the two is just send me a wee PM on the podcast Facebook page, just your details and stuff, and then I'll get the CD sent out to you. Okay, so there you go. So it wasn't Sunday Bloody Sunday, as you all think it was. It was actually U2, With or Without You. There you go. Right, so this next song, here we go. This is especially for wee Aaron Fagan. This one is Kathleen Largy with Freedom's Walk, and hopefully this doesn't knock off my Facebook stream, so fingers crossed. Here we go.
Cold and dark morning, just before the sun, a new day is breaking, our struggle has begun. The people are together, we shall be free in this land, our homeland, our own democracy. Come on, you lads and lassies, rally to our cause and seek the abolition of those old-fashioned laws. Let us open every eye, let the people see what this land, our homeland, means to you and me. On the road together, walk hand in hand and ring the bell of justice over all the land. All the world is waiting, watching you and me in this land, our homeland, our own democracy. Come all you lads and lassies, rally to our cause and seek the abolition of those old-fashioned laws. Let us open every eye, let the people see what this land, our homeland, means to you and me. How far must we travel till our journey's done? How long must we struggle till the fight is won? May we live in peace again, may we live to see this land of ours, our homeland, a true democracy. Come all you lads and lassies, rally
There we go. Kathleen Largy with Freedom Walk. It's basically we mucker Aaron Fagan over there on North Belfast at Whitewell. So, man, hope you appreciate that one. Thank you very much for tuning in. Josephine Lister Tupperty, my daddy played Kathleen Largy all the time in our house. Was brought up listening to her music. Jerry's Woodstuff says, could you please say hello to Breeds McFarlane? Breeds has it on the tally. I'm in the kitchen burning a 40th anniversary piece. Burning a 40th anniversary piece? What? What do you mean, you're burning a bit of toast or something? You're using Scotland, say a piece, which is a bit of bread or a sandwich or something, whatever it is. There you go, anyway. Sinead Donnelly says, Women of Ireland, yes, we'll go to that, don't worry. Definitely today, of course, tomorrow is International Women's Day, so it is, so we'll go to that there one. And a couple, maybe two other wee women's songs joined together. So let's see. Yeah, so congrats to the two guys who won the CDs. And of course, the song was You Two, With or Without You. Who would have thought that there could help, but that was their very first song to play at a Wolf Tones gig in Glasgow Barlands. Thankfully there only was a few people, maybe 150 or something people in the venue at the time. So it was right. So what are we going to do next? So Rose Hyland asked me to do this one. Of course, the sister of a very, very good friend of mine, Hugh Lundy, who I probably one of my best friends, who I played with in Ernua for many, many years. Hugh unfortunately passed away a few years ago. Still hard to believe that he isn't here anymore. Like it's harder every year on his anniversary. Looking at his wee memory card on the fridge, like so it does. But so we'll go to this one. Here was his favourite song. I don't know how many drumsticks Q broke playing this song. Probably like every single parade he had to have an set of drumsticks in his back pocket. A bit like Dal as well from the Only Alsop. He smashed at least 2 pairs of sticks every parade. So listen, we're going to do this one here, especially in memory of my good friend Hugh Lundy, and it was his favourite song, Father's Blessing. And of course we'll have to do the Irish Brigade version. So this is from the Irish Brigade live at the Sidewalk in Dublin with Father's Blessing, especially for my good friend Hugh Lundy, and requested by his sister Rose. Well, here we go.
This is a song I wrote back in the early 1980s. One of the brave young men who died on the hunger strike in the Hitch Blocks. It's a song called A Father's Blessing, a song dedicated to the memory of Joe McDonnell. Children's laughter, children's tears, childish joys of childhood years, fondest memories of our once happy home. It's not death that brings the pain, I would face it all again, but it grieves me so to leave you all alone. Do the wee ones still sigh when they hear their daddy's name? Do they sadly ask you why I won't be home again? Oh, how hard it is to know I'll never see them grow. Let my dying bring for them a better land. May they never know the fears that have blighted my young years, nor the shackles that have bound my native land. May they see the joy of life and not cruel civil strife, foreign laws imposed by brutal strangers' hand. Do the wee ones still sigh when they hear their daddy's name? Do they sadly ask you why I won't be home again. Oh, how hard it is to know I'll never see them grow. Let my dying bring for them a better land. May they grow in love and truth. Let them blossom into youth, guided by their mother's loving hand. May they cherish Ireland's pride, for this Joe MacDonald died. Let them know their father loved them and his land. Do the wee ones still sigh when they hear their daddy's name? Do they sadly ask you why I won't be home again? Oh, how hard it is to know I'll never see them grow. Let my dying bring for them a better land. Let them know their father loved them and his land.
There's Blessing. Of course, all about Joe McDonald on that one. There's especially dedicated to my good friend Hugh Lundy, who sadly passed away a few years ago. It was his sister Rose Highland who asked for that one. That always was Hugh's favourite song, so it was. So there you go. See on YouTube, Hugh O'Neill, Celine. I know it's me mostly, but sometimes it's the autocorrects. Paul Waltz says, will you play any Rebel song on a big welcome home from hospital to Dermot in Dublin, getting better and stronger from everyone in Cork? Great, happy days, great to see you. You're finally home, Dermot. We'll do one dedicated to you very soon. So Pete McElhenney says, brilliant show as usual, Ro. Any chance of playing for Ireland? I'll not tell her name by the Wolf Tones. And my memory of my dad sadly passed away in September. All the best, Ro. Keep up the good work. Right, we'll see if we can get that fitted on before we finish up today for you, mate. Right, so say tomorrow is International Women's Day, folks, and a few people have asked for this one. So many great women, folks, and of course, like even in the struggle, we wouldn't have got to war without a lot of the strong women at the heart of it. So for lots of sort of women in my life, we'll do this one, especially my mother Kate, my wife Laura, of course, my wee daughter Josie, and my mother-in-law Mairead as well, and everybody else, for all these other women who are listening out there. We'll do this one, Spicy Fusions, and this bit of the Wolf Tones, and hopefully we'll not get cut off on Facebook here in the stream. This is the Wolf Tones with the women of Ireland here on Rebel Sundays, folks.
Women of Ireland, your glory's in the shade, your dreams they have gone and decayed, the deeds you have done, they all went unsung by no bird or no one, for without you there is nothing except love songs in the wind, and all of your struggles and despair, and there were castles in the air. Shouted from every mountain, from every mountain on high, and the four winds will sigh for Ireland. Ireland's your glory, and your monuments built on your sorrow and pain. For if ever the seas and the oceans run dry, tears of struggles and of joy, and all of your sadness and your pain would fill the oceans up again. Daughters, daughters of Erin, to the common man, your dream was to see Ireland free. Through agrarian struggles, we're determined to win, and from there to begin. There you were, dressed for rebellion, but your beauty could not hide your sorrow and suffering and despair. And there were castles in the air. Shouted from every mountain on high, and the four winds will sigh for Ireland. Ireland, your glory, and your monuments built on your sorrow and pain. For if ever the seas and the oceans run dry, tears of struggle and of joy, and all of your sadness and your pain would fill the oceans up again. Women of courage, you suffered in your silence. You kept Ireland's spirit alive. You were imprisoned, your people enchained, but you never gave in. In troubled days of old Ireland, you were the brave ones who fought through oppression and famine and despair, and there were castles in the air. Shouted from every mountain on high, and the four winds will sigh for Ireland. Ireland's your glory, and your monuments built on your sorrow and pain. For if ever the seas and the oceans run dry, tears of struggles and of joy, and all of your sadness and your pain would fill the oceans up again.
There we go there, if you folks. That's the Wolf Tones, Women of Ireland, basically for all the women, my life, all the women. Listen to us on the show today. That's Fusion. Tomorrow is, of course, International Women's Day. And of course now the curse of the Wolf Tones has just got me cut off Facebook. You see, I was riding so high for so long over the last couple of weeks. I didn't get cut off. I just got a bit muted, but they let me do the whole show. So anyway, what I got today, we got 2 hours and 2 hours and 15 minutes on YouTube, on Facebook, so we can't really complain that much coming at. I see there's just people, a load of people send me through here. What, here, do you know, you're off on Facebook? You're off on Facebook? Yes, I know I'm off on Facebook. Sure, what can you do, folks? But we're still on YouTube live here until 4 o'clock. So, that one there, so that was of course the Will Tones, Women of Ireland, and one sort of a slow song written all about the women of Ireland. We'll do this one here now, a more upbeat song about all the women in the struggle. It was written by Dackie McLaughlin from Derry, and this is one of the songs on my album here, folks. It's released tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, if you can see now. Here we go. Rebs for Hope, the album, and it's going to be released in the morning on my merchandise page only. It's the only place you can buy it, so I'll be posting all the links up later on, and of course tomorrow morning. So I think this is the second song on the CD. So it's written by Dackie McLaughlin from Derry. It's from Chris Coyle, from her album From the Streets is Free Derry, and it's called I Believe in You. Of course, all about believing in the women and the struggle, about all the job they've done. So here we go. This is I Believe in You from Krista Coyle on Rebel Sundays now, exclusively on YouTube anyway, and for the next 40 minutes. Here we go. Go on, Krista.
I've been up and down the highways in the dead of night, singing songs about the justice I don't believe is right, but I believe in you. And I've seen 100 graveyards and a chance to say goodbye. I've never known an English soldier, I've seen a couple die, but I believe in you. And there's no flowers at the graveside from anyone at all. Your picture's in the paper, and I think it says it all. And all that I can do is maybe dedicate this song and try and shame the bastards that spelled your name wrong. I believe, I believe, I believe in you. When men behind the wire it rolled up and down the street, we're planning revolutions with your children at your feet. When the images of Ireland of a woman have all gone, so women of the movement that keep it moving on. And I believe, I believe, I believe in you. And when your Catholic education has you up against the wall, don't worry, sister, and I'll be there if you fall. There's women in the kitchen, there's women on the streets, there's women manning barricades, that's women on their feet. I believe, I believe, I believe in you. Yes, I believe, I believe, I believe in you.
Go on, Krista, girl. Yeah, it's Krista Coyle there, folks, for you, with I Believe in You, of course. And that there's her song there, or Dackie McLaughlin's song, probably made famous by Gary Oak. And then Krista's actually recorded her album as well, the album From the Streets of Free Derry. And of course, Krista has volunteered that song there for my new album, Rebs for Hope, the album, which is released tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, folks. So listen, if you're listening, just got one text there from somebody there now. If you're enjoying the show today, fire as a wee tip if you can, and just see here somewhere we're pointing over to, there's a wee link there for PayPal. So if you want it, you can just scan your phone number onto it, or you can go onto PayPal. It's basically paypal.me/DJ Row Show, folks, and fire something in. It'll basically help towards the show. Obviously, you seen yesterday, I put the pictures up of the new mix and stuff like that, and got the new lighting as well for the room, just to help the show go on, and that all goes towards all the donations and tips I'm getting every week. So thank you very much again. So if you are enjoying the show today, folks, you're enjoying the interviews during the week, just fire us a wee tip in. And just talking of the interviews, don't forget tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, folks, you're live on YouTube, live on Facebook as well. I have Joe Austin. Joe's going to be coming and busy telling about his story of how he went over to Gibraltar and brought the bodies of the 3 volunteers home, and he didn't rest until the 3 coffins were back in the houses, folks, in West Belfast. So it's a fascinating story, and we'll play a few songs as well through the show to break it up. Right, so where are you? David McC, cracker song. There you go. Audrey, how you doing? Audrey, Buzzy, happy Rebel Sunday Row. Thanks for another great show. Will you give a big shout out to my hubby Nazo? Is that Nazo or Nazo? Nazo, there you go. So there's for Audrey's hubby Nazo today. Cheers for tuning in as always. Michael Scanlon says yoo-hoo. Jacket Screen by Shabeen and Friends in memory of Michael Scanlon, the Fenian poet, 6th of 3rd, 17. Let's go to share one. I had it lined up earlier on, but actually forgot all about it. Michael, my apologies. So this is Shabeen and Friends for you on Rebel Sundays today. And hold on, see, Spotify is playing on there, and see, it's on the same channel, the same lane on my desk here as YouTube is, and I obviously hadn't paused it from the last Spotify track, but anyway, we'll get away without. Hoping you didn't notice. So this is for Michael Scanlon anyway. Shabine and Friends, the brilliant track Jackets Green. Rebel Sundays, folks, got another 35 minutes to go for today's show. Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
When I was maiden fair and young on the pleasant banks of Lee, no bird that in the greenwood sung was half so blithe and free. My heart there beats with flying feet, no love sang me his queen. Till down the glen rolled Sarsfield's men, coming wore the jackets green. Young Donald sat on his gallant grey, like a king on a royal seat, and my heart leapt out on his regal way to worship at his feet. Oh love, had you come in those colours dressed, and would the soldiers mean? I'd lay my head on your throbbing breast for the sake of your jacket green.
Well, no hoarded wealth did my love own, the good sword that he bore, but I loved him for himself alone and the colours that he wore. For had he come in England's red to make me England's queen, I would rove the high green hills instead for the sake of the Irish green.
When William stormed with shot and shell at the walls of Garryowen, in the breach of death my Donald fell, and he sleeps near the treaty stone. That breach the foeman never crossed, while he swung his broadsword keen. But I do not weep, my darling lost, for he fell in his jacket green.
When Sarsfield sailed away, I wept as I heard the wild call. I fell then dead as a man who slept in the fields of Garryowen, while Ireland held my Donald West. No wild sea rolled between, till I would fold him to my breast, unrolled in his Irish green.
My soul has sobbed like the waves of woe that shattered tombstone brave, for I buried my heart in his grave below, for his and for Ireland's sake. And I cry, make way for the soldier's bride, and your halls of death, sad queen, for I long to rest by my pool of side, and wrapped in the folds of...
Yeah, so Shabine and Friends, our jackets green there for you, especially for who asked for? Well, Michael, was it? Let's just check on here and see. On the YouTube stream, obviously, folks, if any were listening, were cut off on Facebook. So unfortunately, there was a little curse of the wolf tones there. It's always one of them. Peter McElhenney says, listen all the way from sunny Clydebank near Glasgow Road. Brilliant, mate. Wouldn't want to be in Glasgow today, mate. Tell you that, so wouldn't. listen to them cream buns, waiting us up, you know. So that was Michael Scanlon, of course. That was for friends of Mairead. Michael Scanlon, the Fenian poet, 6th to the 3rd, 17. There you go. Something spicy for you, Michael. Hope you enjoyed that one. James McClean says, donations sorted. Love the Rebel Sunday show. Well done, Ro. Thank you very much, James. Much appreciated, mate. Again, folks, only is do you want to? And normally what I find during the week as well is like some people don't have PayPal, so they say, listen, look, going to throw you something in. So I mean, if you want to, you can just send me a wee PM, whatever, and I'll throw you my bank details, and you can do a transfer as well, which a lot of people do, which is always appreciated. Thank you very much to you all that do every week. So yeah, folks, just scan the wee QR code there with your phone, or just if you can go to PayPal, it says paypal.me/DJ Rose Show. And thanks to everybody, folks, that's given me something today. Really much appreciated to you all. Right, so what we'll do next here, somebody asked, so Paul F here on YouTube says, Ro, can you play Scapegoats? Yep, go to this one, my good friend Marty Higgins, the worst tea maker in County Antrim. Marty Heaney with something smart coming on here. Right, so here we go. This looking Scapegoats is, of course, all about the Birmingham Six. So it is a fantastic song. So this is from Marty's album, Lullabies and Battle Cries. Absolutely love this album. This is so especially for Paul F here in Rebel Sundays. This is Scapegoats. Here we go.
1974, and the days after the Birmingham pub bombing, 6 innocent Irishmen were wrongfully accused. They were then subsequently left to rot inside a British jail for 16 years. The only crime was being Irish in the wrong place and at the wrong time. This song is dedicated to the 6 men. The song is named Scapegoats. There were 5 men playing poker on the Haitian train. Fate was dealing them hand. Kid Callahan was walking home through the evening rain, not knowing what lay in store for them. You find traces of night road and cigarettes and matches, mic tabletops and the decks playing cards. When forensics found traces in the hands of the 6 men, the police drove up from Birmingham saying the case was closed. Have you ever seen the mark shots that were taken after 48 hours in custody? Battered and bruised, hundred looks on their faces. The judge, he accepted, they confessed willingly. Please take another look at what you see. And you tell me my family are being terrorized. Keep me awake 6 days and nights, confused and terrified. In the cold, cold, dark of night, well, I swear the blackest white. If you just let me lie down and close my eyes, I'd sign anything if you let me close my eyes. Scales of justice that bottoms up your act, talking to myself or to the wall. Callahan, Paddy Hill, Jerry Hunter, Johnny Walker, Billy Powers, Dick McElkenny, Scapegoats on. For 16 years they were talking to the wall. Scales of justice, please balance up your act. I'm not talking to myself or to the wall. Hugh Callahan, Paddy Hill, Jerry Hunter, Johnny Walker, Billy Bars, Dick McElkenny, Scapegoats on. For 16 years they were talking to the wall. For 16 years talking to the wall.
There's the bold Marty Higgins there for you with Scapegoats, folks, and you can catch Marty on tonight on his YouTube or his Facebook stream. Hopefully don't cut him off. He'll be on live this evening, of course, as well. Well, Damien Quinn and Stephen will also be live as well tonight. They're all doing a Rebel set, so make sure you all tune in, folks, and give the guys a wee tip or donation. Support the artists in these sort of hard times. There you go, James McClean. Chucky Arla, MC. Right, Peter McElhenney says, blasting the tunes row to drown out the cream bun celebrations. All groove from sunny Claybank near Glasgow. Cheers, mate, not a problem. David Tempest Mitchell says, love this song, great show as always, pal. Cheers, mate. James McClean says, could we please have the People's Own MP? Yes, we'll get that on very soon. Martin Heaney says, nothing to beat good culture tea, no Brit PG tips here either. Right, we're going to get to the bottom of this here once and for all. Right, so basically, last June or whatever it was, anyway, I was down to Marty Higgins' house in Glenravel, County Antrim, and I was basically recording the podcast with him. Obviously, you can still watch it on YouTube. It's a brilliant episode. So I went down and he brought me around the graveyard and stuff. And before we'd done the interview, so we went into the house, and he lives in like a wee sort of real wee culty house in the middle of arsehole nowhere, like what it is. And well, he said, do you want a cup of tea first? And it was actually after the interview, and he said, do you want a cup of tea? I just, no problem, there's a cup of tea. And he put the teapot on the ring, and well, it's going to be a nice cup of tea, because, you know, when you put a teapot in whatever, and it's brewed in the teapot, it's good stuff. So literally, he poured the tea in, and proceeded to pour in, and literally, I'm not exaggerating here, half a pint of milk. And I was like, whoa. And the cup was overflowing. And so you go with me, cheers, Marty. I was like, literally in front of me here, the nice pot of tea that he just made just disappeared in front of my eyes, and it was a pot of a cup of warm milk, and I had to drink it. I didn't want to be like ignorant, you know, whatever. So I sort of been like a running joke with Marley that he's the worst tea maker in Ireland. So it was, and still to this day. So we'll hopefully back down to this gaff and get me a nice cup of tea next time. So you will. But yes, there you go. That's what the tea is all about. Right. So folks, our next guest on the show. So not next week. The week after, so I think it's going to be the 21st. Yeah, 21st. We'll have Mairead Walsh on the show. Obviously, you know, Mairead has just exploded over this whole lockdown, and she's got to get a great following. So we'll get down to the bottom of that there, and we'll interview Mairead, and we'll play a few of her songs. So we'll go do one of the songs. She sent me up her new album during the week there called Off by Heart, and it's not a rebel album at all. It's more folky and trad stuff, probably more aimed at the sort of American tourists and whatever, the stuff that she normally plays to. In the bar, she plays it around Killarney, but it's still a fantastic album, still a fantastic voice. So it is. So anyway, here we go. This is Mairead Walsh, folks, with the Christy Moore song "Ordinary Man," which is another brilliant tune. I love it. So what do we have left here now? Another 25 minutes to go of today's show, folks. And this Mairead Walsh, who's going to be on the show on the 21st of March, folks. That's the Sunday after St. Paddy's Day. So looking forward to that. This is "Ordinary Man" by Mairead Walsh. Here we go.
Ordinary man, nothing special, nothing grand. I've had to work for everything I own. Oh, I never asked for a lot, I was happy to what I got. Enough to keep my family and my home. And they say that times are hard, and they've handed me my cards. Well, they say there's enough the work to go round. And when the whistle blows, the gates will finally close. Tonight they're going to shut this factory down, and they'll tear it down, and they'll tear it down. Oh, I never missed a day, nor went on strike for better pay. To serve them as I could. Now with a handshake and a check, it seems easy to forget. Loyalty through the bad times and through good. never lose. He'll never lose. So what seems to me such a cruel irony is richer now than never was before. Now my check is spent and I can't afford a rent. There's one law for the rich, one for the poor. And every day I try to salvage some of my pride and to find some work to I might pay my way. Oh, but everywhere I go, the answer's always no. There's no work for anyone here today. No work today. No work today. So condemned I stand, just an ordinary man, like thousands beside me in the queue. I watch my darling wife trying to make the best of life, and God knows what the kids are gonna do. And now that we are faced with this human waste, a generation cast aside. As long as I live, I never will forgive. You strip me of my dignity and pride. You strip me bare. You strip me bare. You strip me bare. You strip me bare. No work today. No work today. You strip me bare.
Sending me a Walter for you folks. Ordinary Man, brilliant, fantastic. And that's her album, Off by Heart. So, so I say, folks, Maeve's going to be on the show, and unfortunately for S. Fagan, she's not going to be up here. She's just going to be on the phone. He says, Ro, if you want to take Maeve up north, she can stay in my house. She can. Yep, I'm sure there'll be a few fellas looking to take Maeve to stay in their house. So they would, yep. So say. So next week it's back myself, folks, 3 hours, just myself on the show. Then of course we're on St. Patrick's Day, a special one-off show on St. Patrick's Day, so Wednesday the 17th. So get your beers and all in the fridge, your wine, chilled fat one. We're going to be here 1 to 4 on St. Patrick's Day, folks. And then so after that there you have the Sunday after, as Maeve Walsh you just heard. And then if any of you didn't hear me talking during the week about it on the night of Dunfraz interview, folks, on Easter Sunday. So drum roll for this here one, you all hear it. Easter Sunday, we'll have the legendary Derek Warfield on the show, folks. Yep, you heard it here. Derek Warfield, original frontman with the Wolf Tones. Now, of course, with Derek Warfield and the Young Wolf Tones, Derek is going to be on the show on Easter Sunday, folks, which I'm so nervous about. I'm seriously, that day there, if you see me sweating and shaking throughout, you'll know it's busy in preparation for interviewing Derek on the show, but I really can't wait for it. So it's going to be definitely one of those highlights of the show, definitely. So it is for Rebel Sundays anyway. If you can just say, yeah, sure you would. Right, so what do we have up next? What do we have? Another 20 minutes here to go. So James McClean had said, he says, could I play the People's Own MP? Not a problem. He just said as well, the interview you done with Farrell was amazing, straight talking, loved it. Well, folks, again, tune again tomorrow night here. We're going to have Joe Austin on. Really looking forward to this. Joe Austin is like he has a great story to tell. And obviously with yesterday being the anniversary of the Gibraltar 33 years, it'll obviously bring a lot sort of home true for people, you know, to listen to. So that's good. And say Joe doesn't normally do a lot of interviews. It's normally Joe doing the interviews with his Scapegoats program on YouTube for the fella. So it's usually Joe on the other side of the microphone. But tomorrow night it's going to be him sitting there getting asked the questions. So we're looking forward to that. Right, so here we go. Yeah, Hugh Neal just said, excellent lineup to come, Row. Yes, mate, definitely. So what's next? People's Own MP, spicy for James McClean. We're going to do the Cruncher O'Neill version, this one. Of course, all about Bobby Sands. To give him 30,000 votes while in captivity. Marley Heaney just said the interview with Derek will be amazing. It will. Well, I suppose there's a few subjects we might be able to touch, maybe out of bounds, but we'll see what happens anyway. But here we go. This is especially for James who asked for this one there. This is Cruncher O'Neill with the People's Own MP.
How many more must die now? How many must we lose until the island people their own destiny can choose? From immortal Robert Emmett to Bobby Sands MP, who was given 30,000 votes while in captivity. He was a poet and a soldier. He died courageously, and we give him 30,000 votes while in captivity. Thomas Ice, he gave everything in 1917. The Lord Mayor of Cork, McSweeney, died for his freedom to obtain. Never one of all our dead died more courageously than young Bobby Sands from Twinbrook, the people's own MP. He was a poet and a soldier. He died courageously, and we give him 30,000 votes while in captivity. Oh, Mark, you'll hear the lark's sweet notes upon the Ulster Air, or gaze upon the snowflake pure, for to calm his deep despair. Before he went on hunger strike, young Bobby did compose the rhythm of time, the weeping winds and the sleeping rose. He was a poet and a soldier. He died courageously, and we give him 30,000 votes while in captivity. Forever we'll remember him, the man who died in pain, that his country north and south might be united once again. To mourn him is to organize and build the movement strong, with ballad box and arm alliance and with music and with song. He was a poet and a soldier. He died courageously, and we give him 30,000 votes while in captivity. Oh, a poet and a soldier, and died courageously, and we give him 30,000 votes while in captivity.
Some of them were dreamers, some of them were fools, who were making plans and thinking of the future. With the energy of the innocents. They were gathering the tools they would need to make their journey back to nature. Well, the sand slipped through the opening, and their hands they reached for the golden ring, and their hearts they turned to each other's hearts for refuge. In the troubled years that came before the deluge, some of them knew pleasure, some of them knew pain, and some of them it was only the moment that mattered. On their wild and crazy wings of youth, they went flying around in the rain. Well, their feathers, once so fine, were torn and tattered. In the end, they traded their tired wings for the resignation that the living brings. They traded love's bright and fragile glow for the glitter and the rouge. In a moment, they were swept before the deluge. So let the music keep your spirits high. Let the buildings keep our children dry. Let creation reveal its secrets by and by. When the light that's lost within us reaches the sky. Some of them were angry at the way the earth was abused by those men who learned to forge beauty into power. They struggled to protect her from them. He only became confused by the magnitude of her fury in the final hours. When the sun was gone and the time arrived, in the midday dawn only a few survived. An attempt to understand this thing so simple and so huge. They believed they were meant to live after the deluge. Let the music keep your spirits high. Let the buildings keep our children dry. Let creation reveal its secrets by and by. When the light that shines within us reaches the sky.
Yeah, there we go. Sound of Ronan McDonald there for you with Before the Deluge. Don't know if Ronan's still listening today, but there's from their album Notes from Derry, which we've been pumping here over the last year or so. Fantastic album, that one. So again, big thanks to Ronan for donating the 2 songs to my album coming up. Of course, Joseph Mary track from their latest album, and of course then from that album there, Notes from Derry, Beeswing with Marty Healy. So thank you very much, Ronan. I appreciate it for getting the 2 lads on board to donate the tracks for me. Right, so folks, going to wrap it up here. Play one more, maybe 2 more songs. So James McClean says, another great show, listening up while I'm getting in the back garden. Sorry, Ray O'Callaghan says, great show, listening while I can get the back garden cleaned up, while Ciaran just sitting there watching, mate. Well, that's what to do, the point that you tell you what to do. Terry Mealy says, come on my big fellas, who is the guest? And he's here Sunday. And obviously Marty just said, he just told us it's Derek Warfield, folks. Yes, Derek Warfield's going to be on the phone. Can you imagine? On the show, we'll really hit the big time nice we'll have, like. Hugh O'Neill is saying, Martin, I was just going to tell him it was Arlene Foster. The Arlene interview will be from a secret location. Jesus, I don't think I could look at that woman for 40 minutes without wanting to slap her, to be honest. So I couldn't. But listen, folks, I'll just let you know again for tomorrow. This CD is going to be on sale at 9 o'clock in the morning, folks, and only from the merchandise website, just so it's easier for everybody to go to and put their bank details in and put in their address and all. So A potted cell, Q says. Right, so I'll just give you again. So the album is called Rebs for Hope, okay? The album, 16 Rebel and Ballad favourites, and it's proud to support mental health awareness in Belfast. So for the Suicide Awareness and Support Centre in West Belfast and PIPS in North Belfast, folks. So I'll give you the wee track listen. So, you know, 16 brilliant songs. And again, thanks to all the bands for donating the song. Plus, thank you to there's about 4 or 5 people that all give me a few quid there in the last couple of weeks towards getting the CD released, paying for the printing, paying for the CDs and the wallets. So thank you to all users. Really much appreciated. You'll be getting a wee mention tomorrow whenever the CD officially goes on sale. So this is the track listen, folks. Here we go. Number 1, The Dan Rebel, from Chris Carney, live and Potter Browns. I Believe in You, which we played earlier on. Chris the Coil. The Galtee Mountain Boy from the Rebel Hearts. And Irish Citizen Army from Gary Ogue. The Foggy Dew live from the Irish Brigade. The Station at Knock Long, which is a song that literally doesn't get played enough. Fantastic song. There's from Clover live as well in Cork. Terrorist or a Dreamer by Bick McFarland. Number 8 then, McElwee's Farrell the Blackie. That's live as well from Emer McLaughlin. Then Grace live from Kelly's Men. Joseph Mary, which probably the standout album, or the standout song on this album, from Sean McCafferty. And of course written by Dana Barrett and Sean. Number 11, the song we're going to play next here is Wally and Danny from Glasnevin. Then Caledonia from Damien Quinn, one of his best recordings ever, still say to this day. Then Plastic Bullets from Martin Higgins. Ambush at Clonoe, we played earlier on there, live from Planksty Folk. Then Beeswing from Marley Healy from the Notes from Derry album. And the last song is Streets of Gibraltar from Misa Era, of course written by Maura and Mickey McNally, folks. So there's Rebs for Hope, the album, on sale tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, folks. And all the money is going to be going towards the two great charities. So make sure you all, there's limited copies, and there's going to be about 15 or 20 USB sticks as well. Hugh Neal says, great, but if I get confused, can I do like the t-shirt incident? Yes, Hugh, because you're an old man. If you want to even just send me the PayPal over or whatever, and I'll send you the CD over. So, well, you know, just so you don't get confused and end up owing PayPal nor 70 quid by accident. Eamon Melly, love Caledonia. Yes, definitely, Eamon's definitely one of Damien's best recorded tracks. That's why it's on the CD. See, Son of Earn 1916 says, hi, please play Nevermind. Can you please play Nevermind? Can you please slap Arlene? That would make my day. Aye. Right, people go first. We'll finish up this one with this last track of the day, and then we'll finish up the show with the anthem as normal. So here we go. This is Wally and Danny from the album, the Rebs for Hope album, and it's from good friends of the show, Kieran and Connor from Glasnevin over in Scotland. So here we go. Wally and Danny, folks, from Rebel Sundays. It's the last one. Thank you to you all for tuning in today. Everyone who tuned in on Facebook as well. Cut off 40 minutes ago, but sure, what can you do? The Curse of the Wolf Tones. And again, anybody that hasn't, if you can, throw us a wee tip in there to PayPal, folks, for the show. PayPal.me/DJ Row Show. Just scan that wee code there, if you can see it. I'm pointing over. Just put your phone on the top of it, and you can scan it. It'll bring you straight to the PayPal. So thank you very much, folks. Much appreciated. Here we go. This is Wally and Danny with Glasnevin on Rebel Sundays.
Try to sing some songs of glory, sing some songs of peace. But in the end, it's a single story. They're both too hard to read. The people tell me there's sick and it's signs of seeing this place in town. But I say, take the blindfold, stop you hypocrite. wits and help us get our figure out. And please say it isn't so. Why William Danny had to go, the reasons may be clear. They can down their lives for us here at the year. 70 shots between each body knots. What of those bullets been? I'm up for every trigger you pull that morning. A volunteer with a list for fight the house. Here lived him lying there. The priest was turned away. So that's another step below. For those SAS bastards will never forget their name. And please say it's so. While William Danny had to go, the reasons very clear. And they can now their lives for us here at the year. The funerals run to prove their worthiness. Thousands from the roots. Whilst the postal boys have heard helplessly overhead, the rock came as a sword. The empty tin magazines over its coffin as defiantly the crowd was still. So as another day turns, but it comes to be out again, 'cause Willie and Danny have arrived. And please say it isn't so. While Willie and Danny had to go, the reasons may be clear. And they can now their lives for us here at the year. Please say it isn't so.
Yeah, the brilliant Wally and Danny here for you folks from Glasnevin. Of course, there's on the album Rebs for Hope, released tomorrow morning, folks, 9 o'clock. So, just when we're going here, Hugh has said, right, so how much is the CD? And Josephine asked, well, so the CD, folks, and the USB pens, the same price, £11 each, okay? Basically, the other pound is just to cover the PayPal cost, you know, because if you pay by PayPal, it only charges 60p or something. So I'll just make sure that I get a tenner each, you know, for each CD. So it's going towards the charities. So Hugh, if you're going to just send me the PayPal, for you it'll be, what's that there now? So £12.50, okay? £12.50 of the Queen's good money, or whatever, Nicola Sturgeon's good money, whoever it is over there. Right, so folks, here we go. Yeah, £12.50, right? So it's £11 for the CD and £1.50 for the packaging. So yeah, that's great. Thank you very much. If you want to send me over £100, Q, you can. Well, I'll get that donated to the two charities if you want. Like, so folks, thank you very much to you all for tuning in today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Great as always. Good crack. Get down here on a Sunday, have a laugh with you for the usual gang. So much appreciated. So I said back next week myself. No guests next week, just myself. 3 hours, which I know you all. See before we go, what the hell has happened to Liverpool? Like, what's going on? They got Bailey in the day by Fulham. What the hell has happened to Liverpool? I don't know. We're going to see Stephen Gerrard land at Anfield in early January for the great job that he's done at Rangers. Aye, but Borefest. Right, so here we go, folks. It's the last one. I've got to finish up the anthem as usual. See you all next Sunday. Thank you very much. And I say, don't forget, go on to the tomorrow morning. If you want to check the Facebook page for the Rebel Podcast, official Facebook page, I'll be putting up the link from 9 o'clock. So the CD is on sale from 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, folks. Thank you very much. I'll see you all next Sunday. Cheers.
a taffy alligator. Winds are slow, her tender on the cool. They buds face hair, chanted a shimshire pasta. The akbar pantiran not the top. And dots I in Sabar well. They gone their kill on was no sill. They gone their scrape. They labot na be live. Charlotte cannon around the veil.
You've been listening to Rebel Podcast of Rory Carson. To listen to this and past episodes again, and to also check out future episodes, keep an eye on our official SoundCloud page. We're also available on all social media outlets. Just search Rebel Podcast. Bhí sé bhgéisteach an sin leis an fád cruúlaí Rebel le Rory McCarson. Le héisteach le seo agus hir hagran a ríis, agus na hagran atá le teach, caisúil ar siú efigil sugin ar SoundCloud, agus táid ar fáil ar gach cinneal ardan ar na main thuirseilta. Ní mór ditch ach fád cruúlaí Rebel a curda.